Only a DQ. Happy tastes good.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Brandon Pfaadt and the long ball helped the D-backs get a 6-2 win over the Marlins yesterday. Josh Naylor, Pavin Smith, Tim Tomlin, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. all homered in the win, and here's manager Torey Lovello on the run the D-backs are on right now.
We're on a really good spin right now, and the guys are playing hard. We're having a lot of really positive results. We're making fewer and fewer mistakes, which is translating into winning moments, and that's really what we're all about. That's Arizona Diamondback baseball.
And get ready for some breakfast baseball today as the Snakes will look for the series sweep in Miami. First pitch will be at 9:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Trade up, trade down, or stay put. What will the Arizona Cardinals do in the NFL draft in 1 week time? Here's Cardinals general manager Monty Austinfort on what they're thinking at 16.
We're in a good spot. Next week we'll run through a few scenarios and we'll do a few mock draft exercises amongst our staff but we'll be excited. We'll have something fun to talk about with you guys Thursday night.
For all things Arizona Cardinals draft, head to arizonasports.com. This report is brought to you by Desert Institute for Spine Care. Desert Institute for Spine Care is the best in the valley for 14 years and counting. If you need your neck or spine looked at, go with the best. Online at sciatica.com.
Good morning. Time to get up and go to work.
The power-packed morning zoo. Are you kidding me?
Fire!
It's the greatest radio show ever.
Good morning and welcome.
World.
Dan Mickley.
Oh my God, he's from Chicago. That's amazing.
Vince Marotta.
How are you, Vinny? Who's better than Vinny?
And Jeremy Carlin.
It can only be Chevy.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Marotta mornings. Time to go to work. Time to go to work.
Shout out to Dan Bickley, my boy. Him and Vince. Okay.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, Valley sports fans. Welcome to a very special and very short day in the world of Bickley and Marotta mornings. Off at 8:30 a.m. today.
The possibilities are endless.
They're endless.
They?
Yeah, they absolutely are. And
I've not thought about what I'm going to eat for breakfast this much
in a long time. I'm sure you and Jared have that in common. This is also the time of year where I get very, very easily triggered, Vinny. It's the time of year when I walk into the break room at this fine radio station, see my picture, and realize that they're celebrating my 7th year anniversary.
Yet the fact that you've worked here for well over a decade?
Let's see. I do believe our radio show began in 2013.
It did.
So
July 29th, 2013.
I do not know why, on a board that celebrates people who I never see in this building.
How you haven't seen in this building for years.
How I cannot get credit.
People that live in other states. But you do understand what it is.
I don't understand.
It's the 7th year anniversary of when you became full-time at the station.
But the other people on the board are part-time. There's plenty of part-timers on the board. What happened
Correct.
to the years 2013 to 2018? I want credit for them.
I'm right there with you. I see that and I think the same thing.
It's the weirdest thing.
See, in July, when July and October, that's my birthday month and my anniversary month, the thought that I have when I go into the break room during those 2 months is, they couldn't find a decent picture? Seriously? That's the one you're using? I mean, there's not many decent pictures of me out there, but come on, look a little bit harder.
Yeah,
or ask me.
Right. So Jared, how much are you mailing in today's show, just out of curiosity?
Well, If I said no more than usual, would that be bad or good? I was thinking about this, like, because you were saying, like, oh, you know, the possibilities are endless. What we're going to do with the rest of the day. Nothing. I'm not going to do anything with the rest of the day. I wish it was starting at 8:30, the show, so we could sleep in. That would be nice,
I see what
right?
You're saying. Yeah.
If we're going to have a short show, let us start later. That's more.
Yeah, we have a press conference to attend, though. Jared, I think you should show up there, too, as well.
Well, I got a thing. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I know you got
the possibilities are endless. It really
Yeah.
would.
All right, we'll tell you all about that Suns press conference in a minute. Start the show, Jared.
The Splash. The stories making waves in the sports world. The Splash.
Cannonball coming.
The Splash. Brought to you by Presidential Pools, Arizona's #1 pool builder. See why at presidentialpools.com.
The D-backs continuing to play long ball in Miami. 4 more home runs and a 6-2 win over the Marlins. Josh Naylor, Pavin Smith, Tim Tawa all had solo shots. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. tacked on a 2-run blast in the 8th, helping Arizona to its 4th straight win. Brandon Pfaadt went 5 2/3 innings, allowed just 1 run on 5 hits with 6 strikeouts. But Torey Lovello pulled Pfaadt with 2 outs in the 6th, so that snaps the D-back streak of quality starts at 6.
Come on, Torey!
Does he have no respect for the streak? You never mess with the streak.
No!
You should know that. The series concludes today with the D-backs looking for a sweep at Lone Depot Park. Eduardo Rodriguez getting the start for Arizona. He will be opposed by Miami right-hander Edward Cabrera, who's making just his 2nd start this season. First pitch, 9:10. You can hear it here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app, beginning with pregame coverage at 8:30 this morning. So finally, after all these months and all these years, we get to bask in the glow of the preemption.
How about
the
it?
afternoon show gets like 4 times a week.
How about it?
I don't think we've ever. I think this is the earliest we've ever been preempted, right?
I
Because
think
occasionally
so.
we have like the last half hour of the show off or something, but that's an early start. What is the attendance of that game going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be about 11. So, par for the course. In the wake of their disappointing 36-46 season, Phoenix Suns brass will be speaking to the media today. Owner Matt Ishbia, CEO Josh Bartelstein, and President of Basketball Operations James Jones will hold court later this morning at the team's Verizon 5G Performance Center, 3 days after the firing of head coach Mike Budenholzer after just 1 season on the job. I don't want to say this was thrown together, but it was announced last night at almost 10 p.m.
9:50 p.m.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting time to, hey, let's get this done.
Yeah, and very interesting that we're hearing from all 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're going to get into some possibilities next. A couple duds in the NBA play-in games on Wednesday. Both road teams coming up winners. The Heat dismantled Chicago 109-90. Tyler Hero went off for 38 points. Andrew Wiggins chipped in with 20 as the Heat knocked the Bulls out of the play-in for the 3rd straight year. The Bulls. They're miring in mediocrity in the Windy City there, Bick. In the Western Conference, Dallas had little problem with Sacramento. They beat the Kings 120-106. At Golden One Center, Anthony Davis had 27 points. Klay Thompson added 23. And a little turn back the clock moment. He hit 4 3-pointers in a 3-minute span in the second quarter when the Mavericks put the game away. The final 2 NBA playoff spots will be earned on Friday night in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta hosting Miami for the 8th seed and a first-round playoff matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then in the Western Conference, Memphis will take on the Mavericks for the 8th spot and a first-round date with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Good luck with that one. Full playoff schedule gets underway on Saturday. 4 games, and the other 4 series will begin on Sunday. The Kings, by the way, after that loss, moving on from GM Monte McNair after the play-in loss. According to Shams Charania of ESPN, the decision was made after the 2 sides reached a mutual agreement. I always love that wording.
Oh, yeah.
The mutual agreement was, Monty, you suck and we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
And Monty says, okay.
Right, exactly.
McNair was the GM for 5 seasons in Sacramento and won NBA Executive of the Year in 2023. But I guess that whole plan to revisit the roster of the mediocre Chicago Bulls from 4 years ago just didn't go over big.
Brutal.
The New Orleans Pelicans have moved on quickly. After firing David Griffin earlier this week, the team hired Joe Dumars as their president of basketball operations. Dumars, a Hall of Famer, Louisiana native who most recently worked for the NBA in the role of executive VP. of basketball operations. A couple of college basketball notes. Arizona and UConn announced a home-and-home basketball series on Wednesday. Wildcats will play on the road at UConn November 19th this season. Next year, Dan Hurley's Huskies, if he's still there, will visit McHale Center on November 18th, 2026. The schools have met 7 times on the hardwood, Connecticut taking the first 5, but U of A has won the last 2 games in 2017 and 2018. And Duke freshman Con Kneppel declared himself eligible for the NBA draft. The Milwaukee native, 6'7", a wing. He averaged 14.5 points for the Blue Devils this year, thought to be a top 10 pick in June's draft. I really like his game.
Yeah, good player.
His last name makes me giggle.
Oh, jeez.
His last name doesn't it with F's? But it's Knippel? I don't know.
No, there's not an F anywhere in his name.
Really? Who am I thinking of?
Somebody with an F in their name?
Cooper.
I'll give you a couple F's.
Cooper Flag, I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
F-F-L-A-G-G.
Are you done with the splash?
Yeah.
Okay. When you said, am I gonna phone it in or mail it in, whatever you said?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about those phrases. They're outdated. Like nobody really sends mail anymore, and people don't like to talk on the phone. Phoning it in and mailing it in now are inconvenience things that are actually difficult to do.
Yeah,
we need a new phrase.
That's a very interesting point.
Texting it in or something.
To answer your question, though,
yeah.
First segment of the show, no tease from Jared. So,
well, yeah, that's keep doing the splash.
Coming up next, that is your splash for April 17th. Coming up next, Suns brass is talking in the wake of a terrible season. What could they possibly say to make anybody feel better? We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Marotta Mornings here on this Thursday. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
D-backs, Marlins.
Here comes the 0-2. Swung on, little pop-up, shallow left field. This is a tough play, but Gurriel comes charging in. He makes the catch. Ball game over. D-backs take this one 6-2. They take the series, and they go for the sweep in the finale.
D-backs, Marlins. Series finale. Coverage begins this morning at 8:30 on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Spinato's Pizzeria has been serving up excellence in the Valley for over a half century. Hey, it's Vince Marotta, and Spinato started with one single location in Phoenix all the way back in 1974. Now in 2025, 6 convenient Valley locations, and they still do a lot of the same things they were doing 51 years ago. Spinato's uses only the freshest ingredients in all of their pizzas and other dishes, and every guest still treated like a member of the family. Their pizza is legendary, regardless of what you get on the menu. Could be the Courtside Classic, the Red Zone, the Spicy Italian, the Chicago. But now, for a limited time, there is another heavy hitter on the pizza roster, the State 48 Pizza. It is a collaboration between Spinato's and State 48, a unique Southwest-style margarita pizza. It is light, it is delicious, perfect for the warmer summer months coming. You can also get limited edition State 48 Spinato's t-shirts, stickers, and margaritas, and a portion of the proceeds go to the State 48 Foundation, helping local entrepreneurs thrive. Spinato's has got locations in North Phoenix, Central Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale, Ahwatukee, and Gilbert, and is also the official pizza of the Suns and Mercury at PHX Arena. If you want more info on events, menus, check SpinatosPizzeria.com. Spinato's, food that brings people together.
I'm Dawn. This is my husband, Steve, and we're the Jacksons.
We've had 4 Fulton homes over a course of 20 years. During the building process is what always impresses me is the fact that the communication lines stay very open.
And everything was well organized. We had checklists. This is going to happen at this time. Expect this at this time. And it all worked exactly as they told us to anticipate.
The walkthroughs were almost kind of anticlimactic because the construction supervisors were so much in touch with me that we'd already discussed everything.
One of the things we really like about the Fulton Homes communities is they strive to make them a community, not just a place that you live. You become friends with people in your neighborhood. When we walk in a Fulton home model, it always feels like home.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
So you're in pretty decent shape, but Okay, as we get older, we lose a step. Totally natural part of being a guy. And at Vital for Men, we got your back by helping you get it back. Testosterone replacement therapy is designed to make you feel powerful, sharp, and renewed. Get started today with a free test at one of our 3 Valley-wide locations. And on top of that, we're excited to offer semaglutide to support your health journey even further. Visit Vital4Men.com today. Vital, the number 4men.com. It's time to get it back.
When it comes to your electric bill, saving energy means saving money. That's why SRP offers many ways to help you cut costs and boost comfort. From rebates and discounts that can save you thousands of dollars, to expert insights that can help make your home more energy efficient. SRP has tools and programs that give you many ways to save. Explore your options today at srp.net/savings. That's srp.net/savings.
Hey, it's Gambo. Summer is coming and you got to get your air conditioner ready. My friends at Christian Brothers HVAC are doing an AC tune-up only for the month of April. This full 22-point AC inspection also includes the condenser coil cleaning plus a condensate drain line cleaning. All this for only $129 per unit. I just had it done at my house and you should too. Call my friends at Christian Brothers today and ask for the AC tune-up at 602-222-3535 or online at cbrothers.com.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind zero-turn and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Hey, it's Luke. Would we be okay with the Phoenix Suns hiring a first-time head coach? We'll get into that today after the Diamondbacks game. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
You know, I talked to Matt Ishbia for about 20 minutes, and, I mean, it is like, dude, the guy's enthusiasm has not been dented one bit. His passion has not dimmed at all. His approach is not going to change. Like, he is, you know, he detests the word rebuild.
That is Tim McMahon from ESPN. He joined us here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. The morning he released a very long article on ESPN.com. That was back on March 14th. But they're summarizing his conversation with Matt Ishbia. Well, the press is going to have a conversation with Matt Ishbia today. Last night, the Suns put out a press release that Matt Ishbia, Josh Bartelstein, and James Jones will be available to answer questions in the wake of this season, in the wake of the Mike Budenholzer firing, which came earlier this week on Monday, the day after the regular season ended. And I'm wondering what we're going to hear.
Yeah, you and me both.
Because, look, we talked about it, and Tim McMahon said it there. Matt Ishbia is very consistent in his public approach. He is very optimistic. He's very aggressive. That comes across in his comments. And last year, he turned a lot of people off after a disappointing season when he, had the quote of 26 of 29 GMs trade their whole team for ours.
Yeah.
And people rolled their eyes. We got on the Phoenix Suns individually and collectively for not really recognizing the gravity of the situation and how bad this was, and not really voicing the frustration the fan base needed to hear during the season. I think it would be equally as damaging if Matt Ishbia takes the podium today and just spews optimism without an acknowledgement of how dire things are.
That is so well said. I think because what Matt Ishbia is doing is he is just expressing his public persona, relentlessly optimistic, talks a million miles a second, and will promise championships. The problem is after a season like this, it comes off as gaslighting. It's not what he's intending to do, but that's how it's perceived. Like, all right, don't tell me how rosy and how great everything is after what we just collectively lived through. So I think you're right. I think there needs to be an acknowledgement that, okay, we're course correcting. We have kind of messed this up. There needs to be some ownership of that. But then, like you said, the idea that James Jones and Josh Bartelstein are part of this press conference, that's your front office. So if there are major front office changes coming, as Gambo has said, then what explains this?
That's one of the first things that popped through my head. But the first thing was, wow, that's interesting timing. Secondly, if James Jones, does this secure his future here? And I went back to last year because of that ill-timed kind of tone-deaf press conference they held after the season. everybody walked away thinking, okay, the Suns were happy with the job that Frank Vogel did, and then they fired him a week later. We know it's been widely reported James Jones' contract expires June 30th, and there's been a lot of speculation, and it's coming from Gambo. Massive changes coming in the front office.
Yeah.
So to have James Jones as part of this, I mean, maybe they're holding everybody accountable for what just happened, and it's nothing more than that.
Maybe.
But I'm very, very curious to hear what the tone is.
Yeah, but again, I really hope that they get a grasp, because last year's it just spiraled into just theater of the absurd. I remember listening to it going, I can't believe this. They need to restore public confidence in the direction of where this thing is going.
So in that sense, you need to hear more than just, we know something needs to be changed. We know we need, don't you need to hear a plan also? Not just like we acknowledge that things weren't right and that we need to do something different. Like, what different are you going to do now?
I'm okay with the first part, the acknowledgement that we need to do things differently than we've done them to this point. And not to poo-poo on your second part of that, Jared, but I think it's too early for them to have a plan.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't have a coach.
They don't have a coach. They don't have. If they're going to sub out the general manager, they need to do that first. Then they've got to get to the business of trading Kevin Durant. And when the NBA playoffs begin, I highly recommend all Phoenix Suns fans watch the Houston Rockets. Get familiar with some of their players.
Yeah.
Some will be here next year. It's the way it looks to me. Then there's also this. I thought about this. I read Kellen Olson's piece about how hamstrung this team is in terms of their draft capital. And if you really want to get fully depressed, read Kellen Olson's piece about how leveraged out they are.
Just be sure you put on Disintegration by The Cure for background music.
There you go. They're dealing with a Bradley Beal contract where, I don't know if you saw this, Bradley Beal scored 902 points this year. So for every single point that Bradley Beal scored for the Phoenix Suns, the Suns paid him $50,203.
For every point?
For every point he scored.
Wow.
A point, Vinny.
It's good work.
Isn't that crazy?
If you can get it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you've got that. You've got the Bradley Beal situation to handle. You've got the trading of Kevin Durant that has to go down. Who's going to do that? Who's going to orchestrate that trade?
Do you think they'll acknowledge any of that stuff in the press conference?
No.
I mean, even if it's as vague as the roster will look completely different next year.
No. They're out of respect to KD, I think they're gonna dance around that. But the fact that the Suns do not have control over any of their own draft picks for the next 7 years makes you really wonder who would want this job. Because if you're an established GM who's done this before, it's like you're asking me to paint a house, but where's the paint? Oh, we'll get that to you. We don't have that right now. So I don't know, Vinny. I don't know where this thing is going.
Look, I think it's a fair question that you're bringing up, because this is the definition of a challenge for a basketball architect, whoever it is going to be, whether that person is on the job right now or if it's somebody coming in from the outside. But I read a quote from an NBA executive, and it was focusing on the Dallas Mavericks. And this executive said, it was an anonymous exec, said, I love the fact that Nico Harrison is in charge in Dallas moving forward, and that they've put faith in him to continue to be in that job, because I love having desperate executives in this league.
Ooh.
And that's what the good ones do.
Well,
the good ones recognize the desperate. And maybe the Suns were the target for a couple years, and that's why they're in the situation. They can't be a target anymore.
Well,
they've got to be the hunters.
Point. That's a great point, because a team like Houston and others, they see a team like the Suns throwing draft picks out the window, and they're just going, that team might crash and burn like soon. Let's go get those draft picks. Because one of the things a lot of casual Suns fans may not be ready for, if the Houston Rockets get incredibly lucky during the NBA draft lottery at our expense?
It will be panic in the streets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great way. There will be panic in the streets.
If they get a top
With the
5
first pick in the NBA draft, the Houston Rockets select Cooper Flagg, Duke University.
That would be...
That would be your worst nightmare. Everyone's worst nightmare.
Utter mayhem.
And it is in the realm of possibility.
Yes, it's in the realm of possibility.
That happened, right, with the Brooklyn-Boston trade, the famous Paul Pierce thing. Didn't Boston get the number 1 pick with that? And they wound up trading it. It was the Markelle Fultz year, and they wound up getting Jason Tatum.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
That did happen.
Yeah.
But so that's like could happen. And here's the other half of that depressing thing is that, okay, let's suppose they make the Kevin Durant trade to Houston and they get back their draft picks. You're just getting back your own draft picks that you already had. You're not acquiring new, better assets. You're just getting back to where you were at the start of this whole thing.
But that's still considered a major victory if they could pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Because they're not going to be good for quite some time.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lottery team for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the sad reality of it all. I don't know how I don't know how they avoid it.
But that's it though. Like if Matt Ishbia today says like, we're not rebuilding, we're going to try to win every single year, would that give you confidence, or would that give you like, oh no, he still doesn't get it?
It'd be the latter for me.
Yeah, because you can say it, you have to show that you can do it, and they haven't shown that they can do it.
No.
They took a championship caliber team and turned it into a 36-win team.
That's it. That's it. The results, and they've taken 4 different cracks at this. If you take a look at the 2 bouts of midseason attempts at reinvention, so it's they don't, and that's where the credibility crisis is, because that kind of optimism and bravado sounds good if you have results, but they don't have results. Which is why it sounds like gaslighting.
Well, and again, even if you said, "Oh, we've done this before, we'll do it again," this group has not done this before.
No,
they don't have a track record of building a championship winner. It was in place when they took it over. Coming up next, in the words of Torey Lovello, the D-backs are on a really good spin right now. We'll take a twirl around yesterday's highlights and D-backs Daily next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You can't use the old excuse about not having enough storage because we know you've got the cloud. Download the Arizona Sports app and keep it on your home screen for breaking sports news, all the Arizona sports shows and podcasts, plus listen to the Suns, D-backs, ASU athletics, and more on your phone. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Hey, it's Vince Murata, and there is something big going on at Earnhardt Ford in Chandler. It is employee pricing. That's right, the Ford Motor Company from America, for America, their employee pricing event. And this means you pay what employees pay across a full lineup of trucks and SUVs with few exceptions. If you are considering a new vehicle, you got to give Earnhardt Ford a chance to prove why they've been a trusted name in the Valley for over 73 years. Family-owned, local dealership. They offer a no-bull way of doing business. It's their whole philosophy. That's why generation after generation of Arizonans return to Earnhardt. You can stop in now at Earnhardt Ford and take advantage of employee pricing. They are conveniently located right off the I-10 at Ray Road in Chandler. Or check out their fully digital shopping experience with No Bull Express at EarnhardtFord.com. Employee pricing across a full lineup of trucks and SUVs. You pay what the employees pay. Ford Motor Company from America, for America. Find more information right now at EarnhardtFord.com.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind zero-turn and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code GROW. Swishradio.com, code GROW.
For a limited time only at Santan Ford. Santan Ford has employee pricing saving you thousands. You can buy new 2025 Ford Explorers for as low as 2.9% APR, or take up to $8,700 off brand new 2025 Ford Escapes, and Santan Ford has hundreds of Escapes to choose from. Let's recap: employee pricing, financing options that are good for your wallet, and selection galore. It's all going on now. From America, for America. See you at Tim Hovick's Santan Ford in Gilbert.
Hey, as homeowners, our closer is America Roofing. Yep, out of the bullpen, save 12% while it lasts with tax and tariff relief courtesy of Arizona's #1 roofing company, America Roofing. You know what? We had a leak in the garage. I'm like, it's all good. And then the monsoon hit, not good. Big leak in a bedroom. I should have gotten the free inspection right away, especially right now when you can save 12%. It's tax and tariff relief at AmericaRoofingCo.com.
ROC 186438CR42.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Brandon Pfaadt and the long ball helped the D-backs get a 6-2 win over the Marlins yesterday. Josh Naylor, Pavin Smith, Tim Tawa, and Lourdes Gurriel all homered in the win. And get ready for some breakfast baseball today as the Snakes will look for the series sweep in Miami. First pitch will be at 9:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Trade up, trade down, or stay put. What will the Arizona Cardinals do in the NFL draft in 1 week time? Here is Cardinals general manager Monty Austinfort on what they're thinking at 16.
You know, we're in a good spot. Next week we'll run through a few scenarios and we'll do a few mock draft exercises amongst our staff but we'll be excited. We'll have something fun to talk about with you guys Thursday night.
For more things Cardinals draft, head to arizonasports.com. And Matt Ishbia, James Jones, and Josh Bartelstein will face the media today at 11, just 3 days after the firing of head coach Mike Budenholzer. This report is brought to you by the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Injured? Call the Berg Simpson Law Firm or visit bergsimpson.com. Good lawyers, changing lives.
That baby is gone!
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. D-Backs Daily. Brought to you by America Roofing. Save 10% on any repair or replacement with Arizona's largest roofer. Online at AmericaRoofingCo.com.
Game 2 of 3 for the Diamondbacks in Miami. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound for Arizona. Miami going with right-hander Max Meyer. Meyer struck out the top of the D-backs order in Corbin Carroll, Geraldo Perdomo, and Pavin Smith on 12 pitches in the first. Pfaadt put up a 0 for the Snakes in the Miami first. Josh Naylor leading off the second inning for the Diamondbacks.
Naylor, a .328 average with a couple of homers and 11 RBIs. Naylor, a couple of hits, including a home run last night. Now he swings and pummels one out to deep center field. Going back is Hill. Track wall, off his glove and gone. It squeaks over the center field wall, and that's back-to-back games with a homer for Naylor.
Chris Garagiola on the call. 1-0 as Naylor got a fastball 398 feet. Just enough to get him on the scoreboard as the Diamondbacks grab a 1-0 lead. Things would remain the same until the fourth inning when never nervous Matt Mervis led off the frame for Miami against Brandon Pfaadt.
Here's the 0-2. Swung on, that ball hammered out to right field. Mervis flips the bat, and he knew it. Home run for him. That is his 6th. And he has tied the game at 1.
Look, Matt, no need to feel bad. Matt Mervis does that to everybody.
Yeah, he hit that ball 5 miles.
He did. Fought, regrouped, and got Lopez, Conine, and Hicks in order to keep the game at 1-1 after 4. D-backs broke that tie in the 5th. Gabby Moreno led off with a single. Alec Thomas drew a walk. With 1 out, Corbin Carroll came to the dish.
And the 0-1. Carroll swings, hard hit, ground ball, base hit into center field. Moreno rounding third. He's going to try and score. Hill's throw is to second. Now Alec Thomas in a rundown. They tag out Thomas at third. Carroll takes second on the play. So there's 2 down. D-backs take the lead. It's now 2-1.
Yeah, another RBI for the scalding hot Carroll. Lead back at 1. Fought allowed back-to-back 2-out singles in the 5th. But he got Kyle Stowers to ground out to first to end the Marlins' threat. More leadoff fireworks in the 6th. This time coming from Pavin Smith.
Now the 1-0 swung on, lifted high and deep out to center field. Hill going back, turns, and watches that one fly. Big home run for Pavin Smith. It's his 2nd of the year. And a big insurance run for the D-backs. They now lead 3-1.
Yeah, 429 feet off the bat of Pavin Smith. 2-run lead at that point. In keeping with the theme of solo home runs, the 7th inning brought an opportunity for Tim Tawa.
2 outs, nobody on, 3-1 Diamondbacks. And the pitch from Phillips swung on, drilled out to deep left field. Conine turns, and this one is gone! First career home run for Tim Tawa. And the Diamondbacks take a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, first as a big leaguer. You know what he showed there? Light Tawa power.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
He came off a
towing shot?
A towing shot. Tyler Phillips, the reliever, gave it up just like that. It was 4-1. Shelby Miller came in and pitched a scoreless 7th inning. He did walk a batter, but Shelby Miller has yet to give up a hit in 8 innings of relief on the season.
He's been fantastic.
Yeah. More insurance coming in the 8th. Naylor draws a 2-out walk from Phillips. That brought up Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Another 3-2 pitch from Phillips. Swung on, high fly ball, deep left field. Conine turning and looking, and that baby is out of here. A monster shot for Lourdes. His 3rd of the season, and the D-backs open up a 6-1 lead late.
Yeah, the lead 5, Miami not totally dead yet in their half of the 8th inning. Eric Wagaman got a pinch hit single off of A.J. Puck. That brought up second baseman Otto Lopez.
As the 0-2 pitch, swung on, line drive towards right. That is a fair ball. Extra bases potentially. As Lopez into second, Wagman going to try and score. Tawa will not throw it. And that is an RBI double. Marlins get one of those runs back. It's now 6-2.
Yeah, Miami back within 4, but Puck got Sanoja and Hicks to end the 8th. Justin Martinez in to close things out in the 9th.
Here comes the 0-2. Swung on, little pop-up, shallow left field. This is a tough play, but Gurriel comes charging in. He makes the catch. Ball game over. D-backs take this one 6-2. They take the series, and they go for the sweep in the finale tomorrow afternoon.
Justin Martinez didn't even strike anybody out. What's up? What's he doing?
Overrated, man.
He broke triple digits on his first 6 pitches, and then on his 7th pitch was that ungodly splitter that we talked about with Merrill Kelly yesterday.
90-mile-an-hour knuckleball.
It was only 88, but the way that was dancing, it was mesmerizing.
Did you see this? The Marlins can't even get good swings on it.
No.
He is blowing dudes away. That is a wipeout pitch.
Has there ever been a bigger non-battle than the closer battle between Puck and Martinez? The lefties in the bullpen right now, that's one little concerning thing with the D-backs right now. Because Mantiply and Puck not been so good this year.
Mm-hmm. Puck's been, I mean, he's set such a high standard.
Well, that's what he
knows. Is there concern about Mantiply? Yes. But then you already have 3 lefties in your bullpen right now. There's help coming because Ginkel's getting healthy. Graveman's going to be back. They have Dre Jameson, who's averaging almost 16 strikeouts per 9 innings at Reno. So, I mean, can you get by with 2 lefties in the bullpen? Most teams do.
The Shelby Miller experience I find to be fascinating and heartwarming at the same time, because maybe Shelby Miller doesn't know or wasn't aware of the way he was perceived the first go around. But for him to come back to a team like Arizona, where it didn't go well the first time, where you were part of a trade for Dansby Swanson, number 1 overall pick, it's fantastic because he is, and the way he's pitching has been pretty instrumental.
He wasn't drafted yesterday in our Mock My World biggest mistakes in Arizona, but he was others mentioned for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him into that top 16 list as what we ended up drafting. It didn't work out, and obviously the other side of it, too, is what you gave up to get Shelby Miller.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Here's Torey Lovello after the game.
We're on a really good spin right now, and the guys are playing hard. We're having a lot of really positive results. We're making fewer and fewer mistakes, which is translating into winning moments, and that's really what we're all about. That's Arizona Diamondback baseball.
Yeah, and here was Lovello explaining why he took Brandon Pfaadt out with 2 outs in the 6th inning.
Things were getting a little bit dicey there, and I felt like he was tiring. I watch a lot of the pitches, and I know what the body starts to look like. And he got the big out with the fly ball to left field. I felt like we were going to get the right left-on-left matchup with Beeks, and it was a big out.
So the quality start streak ends, and Torey Lovello actually commented on that too.
He went out there and really was powering through the zone. There were some misfires, and the thing that stood out to me is he get right back into the count with any pitch. That to me is self-correcting, staying in the moment, staying present, and going out and executing. I know it wasn't a quality start, right? We talked about that. It had been a string of them, and here I was being the Grim Reaper, and I broke that. But it was a quality start for us, and that's all that matters. He won the game, he did his job, and everybody in this dugout, in this clubhouse right now, feels the same way as I do, that it was a quality start.
Okay.
And it's 1 out away from it.
Right.
Technically, look, did you win the game?
You don't mess with the streak, man. Come on.
Didn't Bull Durham teach us anything?
Yes, you don't mess with the streak. Here's the thing that I thought about. Okay, you can't get past the fact that the Marlins are in yet another rebuild. It's not a good baseball team. But these last couple of games have been very, very workmanlike for the Diamondbacks and very, very impressive, and they kind of speak to a team that is starting to look like they're all that. I think there was a general belief among everybody in the Valley that when you lose Jock Peterson and you lose Christian Walker, and you're bringing in Josh Naylor, and you have hope that Pavin Smith can be a good functioning designated hitter, backup first baseman, all that stuff. I think everybody assumed there would be some sort of regression to the offense. An offense last year that led the major leagues in runs. Okay, that hasn't happened. Even with Ketel Marte being out, this lineup has been dangerous. So I'm real optimistic about this. If the team looked a little wobbly in the first 2 weeks of the season, playing really good teams, I think they've kind of shed that off of them, that rust off, that whatever it is. So they're looking good.
They have the 5th most home runs in Major League Baseball. Home runs.
Yeah. They have the 4th most runs in baseball, behind only the Cubs, who have played 3 more games than them, and the Yankees and the Giants have more runs than the Diamondbacks. That's it.
Yep.
So, yeah. And I was thinking about it last night, too. We were bracing for the worst when Ketel Marte went out because he was producing offensively. At least the numbers were there. The run production wasn't quite there for Ketel yet. But you take out your best player from your lineup, what does that mean? And it looked like it was going to have really, really bad effects on this team. They've stacked together wins, now 4 in a row. Every win they get without Ketel Marte in the lineup is like a double victory in my mind.
Yeah, well, look, you got the Tower of Power, Vinny. Come on, man. Who can stop you?
Too bad we don't have a song of the day today. Could have played some horns.
Yeah, we could have.
D-backs going for the sweep in Miami this morning. Yes, you heard that right. 9:10 first pitch. Pregame coverage will relieve us at 8:30 this morning here on Arizona Sports. Coming up next, Nico Harrison, vindicated. Well, not really, but the Mavs did beat the Kings last night. We'll talk NBA playoffs and play-in next. Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You've been listening to D-Backs Daily, brought to you by America Roofing. Save 10% on any repair or replacement with Arizona's largest roofer. Online at americaroofingco.com. Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball.
Patrick Peterson retiring in Arizona. Calais Campbell back on the D-line. Brings back some good Cardinals memories.
Into the the shovel pass to the touchdown of the win. The Cardinals advance to the NFC Championship game.
We're looking forward to the NFL Draft in less than 2 weeks.
You're sitting in the war room watching the draft unfold and trying to determine, do we stay where we are? Do we move up? Do we fall back?
We preview the prospects and what Monty needs to complete the roster on the home of the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here with some exciting news for anybody out there considering a life-changing smile upgrade. New Life Dental Implant Center revolutionizing the way people think about dental implants, making it easier, faster, and more affordable than ever. Here's the deal. At New Life Dental Implant Center, you get everything done in one location from start to finish. No bouncing around to different offices. Everything you need, including surgery, lab work, and follow-ups, right there in one location. And get this, they're offering all-on-4 dental implants for just $99.90 per arch. That is a fantastic price that comes with no hidden fees, no surprise costs, just one price from start to finish. New Life Dental Implant Center, committed to being the best and the most affordable option out there. They've even got their own in-house laboratory, which means faster turnarounds, higher quality control. You are not waiting weeks for some outsourced lab to finish your new teeth. It is all happening right there in real time. New Life Dental Implant Center, where a new smile means a new life. Call them at 602-855-0000, online at newsmilearizona.com.
Hey, it's Pat. The other day at work, they brought in pizza for lunch, so I swooped in and I grabbed 3 slices. The coworker next to me said, "Geez, Pat, you can't have it all." Then I corrected him and said, "Yeah, I can, and you can too. With a new 2025 Toyota truck, power and performance, capability and reliability." Well, I must have convinced him because he grabbed the plate out of my hand and he said, "Good point, Pat."
Right now, get 1.99% financing for 72 months on a new 2025 Tundra SR or SR5. Or get competitive financing or a great lease deal on a new Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma. Plus, check out the all-new 6th generation 4Runner, arriving daily at your Valley Toyota dealers. Shop anytime at valleytoyotadealers.com. Toyota, let's go places. 1.99% with $14.75 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. 0 down payment if you qualify. Offers end 4/30/25. See dealer for details.
The Bobcat National Sales Event is happening now at Bingham Equipment. Buy a Bobcat compact track loader with industry-leading travel speeds or a compact excavator with fast cycle times and get financing as low as 0% for 60 months. Or choose cash rebates or low lease payments on select models. Visit one of 12 Bingham Equipment locations today for these limited-time offers during the Bobcat National Sales Event. Some restrictions apply. Length of contract and rate may vary. Offer ends June 30th, 2025.
Ready! Get ready for the weekend with Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning, your home of the no-fee emergency. Call now to book your appointment time for today, tonight, or later this week. We're here to help. With Ready Services, you'll enjoy free estimates, no trip charge, no after-hour fees, no weekend fees. You can even get a free second opinion on your big job. Always ready since 1957, saving you money and doing business the right way. ReadyServices.com.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Every business has a purpose to inspire, a purpose to innovate, a purpose to serve. At SRP, our purpose is to power yours. From rebates for energy-efficient upgrades to money-saving programs, we help businesses of all sizes find reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy solutions. Discover the possibilities at savewithsrpbiz.com.
Arizona Sports. Floor Burns with Bickley and Murata.
This was a great test for us. I mean, Sacramento's crowd is one of the best in the league, and it was electric in here to start the night. And this is what's going to prepare us to come when we go to Memphis. We know how talented that group is, and they have a great home court. But like you said, Scott, a lot of these guys have had finals experience, and a lot of guys are hungry to have an experience like that. And when you combine our young athletes with the veterans we have, we can hopefully continue this season and give it everything we have, because we want to give the city of Dallas something to be proud of, at least especially with their energy and effort. And we're going to go to Memphis and lay it all out there, and that's all we can ask.
It's Klay Thompson last night. Shades of the old Klay Thompson. 4 3-pointers in a 3-minute stretch of the second quarter. Dallas beats Sacramento easily, 23 points for Klay Thompson. A year ago in the play-in against Sacramento while he was a member of the Golden State Warriors, went 0 for 10 in that game, if you remember.
I do.
This year went 8 for 11 from the floor and was very key in lifting the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
And now, like Jared joked, Nico Harrison is completely off the hook.
No, yeah, right. Sure he isn't.
That's why they traded Luka to get that play-in win.
No, listen, but perceptually, the Mavericks can, I think, tone down everything that is all the noise around them if they can beat the Grizz and go and get a first-round playoff series. Now, they would get annihilated by the Oklahoma City Thunder. But the fact of the matter remains, this is a basketball team that everybody thought was going to full-on tank after the trade of Luka and the subsequent rash of injuries to their front court. And they haven't. And so I respect that. I as much as I think what they're doing is beyond amateur hour, and you mentioned before that at the game inside the game in the NBA are the super smart, sharp GMs, the Sam Presties and others of the world, preying on the desperate, on the ones who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. But there was a time not long ago where the Dallas Mavericks were scrambling to put a roster together. There were news reports that the Mavericks might be the first team ever to have to forfeit games because they didn't have enough healthy bodies, and their salary cap situation prevented them from going out and getting outside help. They dealt with extreme adversity, and yes, they brought a lot of it upon themselves with the Luka Doncic trade. But to me, the show of a professional team, how do you deal with adversity? Do you go through the motions like a certain team that will remain unnamed in this particular segment? Or do you buckle down and play basketball?
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Yeah, listen.
Anthony Davis, his own agent didn't want him to come back this year, and he did.
That's right.
He showed some resolve.
Yeah, and I think Anthony Davis has earned some respect inside the game for what he has done here, which is my team needs players. I am going to come back and play. And he had a great game last night. Klay Thompson, as you mentioned, who's very, very hit and miss, more miss than hit at this stage of his career, had another really good night. They had a good moment. That's a really good moment for that basketball team.
Oh, it's a good moment. Yes,
but the Kings suck, and we all know they're. I love what you said earlier. They're like the Chicago Bulls from 7 years ago.
And it makes you angry that the Suns couldn't catch that team.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Just.
Well, listen. If you hadn't noticed, Jarrett, the Suns were broke. They weren't winning anything.
Believe me, the Suns sucked too. I understood that. Yes.
Yeah, but we had identified it as a 3 or 4 team race. Who was going to suck the least?
Mm-hmm.
The Suns sucked the most out of those 4 teams.
Yes, they did.
Even Portland finished stronger than the Suns did.
So the Grizzlies are going to be under a ton of pressure to win this game. If they don't, their whole reputation, there's already a lot of rumblings about what is going to go on in there with Ja Morant and the future of that program.
I can't wait for his bazooka 3-point celebration coming up in this play-in game on Friday.
Right.
There is pressure on them, yes.
Listen, there's pressure points all over the NBA playoffs. I think you can start with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He is going to be the MVP, I believe. Do you believe that as well?
I believe it. I think the vote's going to be very close.
Okay. But this is a basketball team that won 68 games. There was a 16-game gap between Oklahoma City and Houston. That's crazy.
Where is that in terms of the biggest gap between 1 and 2? It's got to be. I mean, who finished second the year the Warriors won 73?
Yeah, it's
they have the highest point differential in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, they set that record too. When the Warriors won 73 games, 2015, 2016. Sorry.
Or the Bulls year also, when the previous record.
Well, that 2015-16 Golden State.
Right. San Antonio won 67 games that year, so it was only a 6-game gap between first and second.
Wow, how about that? You know who had a huge gap? The year when the Suns won 64 games. There was a mile between the Suns and the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. A lot of good that did us, huh? So I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because we've seen in basketball history many, many times, dudes get their first MVP and then flame out in the postseason, and it's not a good look.
Yes, that is true. On the Sacramento side of things, by the way, yeah, they're in a tough spot because they have reassembled the Chicago Bulls. Maybe they'll get Patrick Williams in the offseason to try to make things better. During the game last night, though, I was reading a lot of Domantas Sabonis criticism. Like, he's one of the guys that is an empty stat guy. Everybody talks about, oh, he didn't make the All-Star game again. Look at his numbers. He's got all these triple doubles. And the common refrain from people in the league and very astute people was just does not impact winning at a high level.
How do you argue that?
You can't.
No, you really can't.
And once upon a time, I mean, there were rumors, DeAndre Ayton for Domantas Sabonis rumors. And I think a lot of Suns fans were like, yeah, sign us up.
Well, it would have been better than Yusuf Nurkic. Useless Nurkic.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry, that's cold.
The wrong Eastern European.
So I think, I don't know what you think about Luka and LeBron in terms of pressure, but LeBron is 40.
Yeah, I mean.
And
probably next year. I think next year's the pressure. I think because this happened, beyond mid-season, that they would maybe excuse it if they don't get that far. But next year, the clock would be ticking even more on LeBron, and they'd have a full off season.
I agree, but it also would not shock me in the least to see the Lakers make a very deep run.
Do you want to hear something funny?
Yes.
The Lakers are using Bronny James to simulate Anthony Edwards.
All right, there was reaction to this too. My sons in a text thread pointed this out to me, and the reaction to it, oh, the disrespect to Anthony Edwards. Like, do you not understand the concept of scout teams? The Lakers don't have an Anthony Edwards-type player on their roster that's not going to be in the rotation. Teams do this all the time.
No, they do. It sounds funny. That's all. And it's a nothing burger. I admit that. But
sign me up for Bronny slander, but this, I mean, come on.
The T-Wolves were using Joe Ingles to scout team Luka Doncic.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Joe Ingles is left-handed.
Right. Exactly.
That's right.
And their head coach goes, they play a similar type of game. That's why. I'm like,
no, they don't. Luka actually plays.
That's what I mean. To answer your question, largest disparity between 1 and 2, the 71-72 Celtics had an 18-game disparity over the number 2 seed Bullets.
Wow.
Yeah.
What year again?
71-72, but this is the caveat. The Bullets were only the 2 seed because they won their division. The 3 seed was only 8 games behind the Celtics.
I got you. Yeah, they used to do it funky.
And the 72 Bulls, the 72-win Bulls had a 12-game lead over the number 2 seed Magic.
Wow. 16-game advantage. Coming up next, Cardinals a week away from the NFL Draft. How ready are Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon for it? We'll tell you next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, Burns and Gambo talk Diamondbacks baseball with D-backs manager Torey Lovello. Brought to you by Estrella Jalisco. Don't miss Burns and Gambo with the skipper, 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Listen on the Arizona Sports app and 98.7.
All right, I've got 3 really good reasons why you would call Parker & Sons, why you should call Parker & Sons for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. Number 1, they are reputable and highly decorated. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They are the most awarded firm in Arizona. Their trophy case is literally overflowing. Number 2, they're fast and reliable. When you need them, they'll be there in minutes, not days. No extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. I've told you about my plumbing emergency. I called Parker & Sons at 4:30 in the morning. A live person answered the phone. I could not believe that. By 8 a.m., they were already at my house doing the work. By the time I got home from radio, they were already done and gone. Incredibly impressive to me. Number 3, they're trustworthy and credible. All their techs, licensed, bonded, insured. All employees are trust certified, and that's really important. You don't let just anybody into your house. That's your sacred space. You've got to be comfortable with the people you let into your home. you'll never have that issue with Parker & Sons. They are the company you trust with your most valuable asset. Call 602-2REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I'm here with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. Stuart, I have so many friends that invest and have financial advisors, and they tell me they hear from those guys like once a year. What makes you different?
I have a very simple rule. Communication is everything in a financial relationship, because if you can't communicate, things are going to be missed. I think it's really important. All of my clients have my personal cell phone number. It's important that they reach me when they need to reach me.
Now, how can you do a great job for somebody when you're only contacting them once a year? You can't, right?
Listen, we are in an evolving world. Things are changing quickly. We don't know what's going to happen with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. We need to have a plan, but we need to be ready to call an audible if things change.
Now, if you have a financial advisor that only contacts you once a year, you need to find out about Stuart Willis and Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. Call 602-877-PLAN for a free portfolio review, or go to assetpreservationwealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey, it's Vince Marotta here for Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa, your local GM dealer. And folks, there has never been a better time to get in a new GMC truck or SUV. Take advantage of low 0.9% APR financing on a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max full-size truck. Or electrify your savings with an even lower 0% APR for 60 months on 2024 Hummer SUVs or Sierra EV Denali's. All offers require approved credit and end soon. So hurry into Earnhardt Buick GMC or find it all online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade, and that ain't no bull.
Most new vehicles include a $998 no bull protection package as an added benefit. Offers include all applicable incentives on select models. APR terms limited through GM Financial. 0% for 60 months is $16.67 per month per 1,000 financed. Based on approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, and $599 doc fee. See dealer for details. Offer ends 4/30/25.
Every day, helping, caring, supporting. Every day at APS, we're here to provide payment assistance programs to customers in need. We recognize how important it is to keep your bill as low as possible. Our energy support program offers eligible customers discounts of up to 25 or 60% every month. Pay down your bill with crisis bill assistance and other programs and resources. Learn how you can get help with your bill at aps.com/brighter.
Hey, it's Wolf from Presidential Pools, a long-term partner of ours over a decade, and they built my pool. They're also now an official partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Starting this season, Presidential Pools, Arizona's largest pool builder by volume, is teaming up with the Diamondbacks to bring you even more excitement on and off the field. Go with my pool builder and the Diamondbacks' new partner and see how they can help you at presidentialpools.com.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Cebulka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Brandon Fott in the long ball helped the D-backs get a 6-2 win over the Marlins yesterday. Josh Naylor, Pavin Smith, Tim Tawa, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. all homered in the win. And here's manager Torey Lovello on the run the Snakes are on right now.
We're on a really good spin right now, and the guys are playing hard. We're having a lot of really positive results. We're making fewer and fewer mistakes, which is translating into winning moments, and that's really what we're all about. That's Arizona Diamondback baseball.
Get ready for some breakfast baseball today as the Diamondbacks will look for the series sweep in Miami. First pitch will be at 9:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Trade up, trade down, or stay put. What will the Arizona Cardinals do in a week time at the NFL Draft? For all things Cardinals Draft, head to ArizonaSports.com. And Matt Ishbia, James Jones, and Josh Bartelstein will face the media today at 11, just 3 days after the firing of head coach Mike Budenholzer. This report is brought to you by America Roofing. With over 400 employees statewide and Arizona's largest roofer, they can get to you fast. Save 10% at AmericaRoofingCo.com.
Bickley and Murata talk NFL Draft now.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way right here.
I'd like to know too.
Yeah. They were calling in to ask the question. Yeah. No, Craig, we're excited. Yeah, we're excited. We're excited. I think we're about 95% the board. We'll leave a little wiggle room there to do a little tweak in here over the next week. But we're in a good spot. Next week we'll run through a few scenarios and we'll do a few mock draft exercises amongst our staff but we'll be excited. We'll have something fun to talk about with you guys Thursday night.
Monty Ossenfort, general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, as he and Jonathan Gannon held court yesterday, pre-draft availability, and that was an answer to the question that just flat out said, "What are you going to do at 16?"
Who are you drafting at 16, Monty? Tell me.
Come on. You can't give us a little nugget, Monty?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, how about it? This is going to be interesting to me because people have said that there's about, 20 to 25 really good, significant impact players in this draft, which really would disincentivize people from taking a quarterback unless you're absolutely sure. And aside from Cam Ward, there is no other absolutely sures at quarterback in this draft.
I don't even know if Cam Ward is, quite honestly.
Yeah, maybe not. But Shedeur Sanders, Kyle McCord, Jackson Dart,
Tyler Shuck,
these Jalen Milroe, these guys, they all kind of maybe
they're doing their best to try to hype. They're maybe Jackson Dart will be, maybe Jalen Milroe's the steal of the draft.
A lot of rumblings that Jackson Dart is going to be a first-round quarterback.
Could be picked ahead of Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. Listen, right, and we've seen this before, and this is living proof as to why life in the NFL without a quarterback is the worst. Because you go into drafts like this and you feel, we've got to get a quarterback, and especially for the teams that have new coaches, it's sort of an industry kind of deal. Let's pair the new coach with the project quarterback and link their futures together. So that is going to dictate, and that is why people have said what the Giants do. And look, the Giants cannot take a quarterback with that first round pick they have. That's way too high for Shedeur Sanders.
I could not imagine passing up Abdul Carter if he's on the board at 3, which a lot of the trends say he's going to be on the board at 3. He's the best defensive player in the draft.
Yes.
And they got Russell Wilson. And they got Jameis Winston as stopgaps for this year.
Right. So I think that
unless you really, 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 really love a quarterback and you really believe in him, then it's never too early to pick it if that guy's going to be your franchise.
Well, what you would like to happen as a Cardinal fan, here's what I would like to happen. I would like for the Giants to have been wowed by Shedeur Sanders in their private meeting /workout and say, you know what, we have to give our fan base some real optimism. Let's draft him at 3. Like I said, I think it would be dereliction of duty if they did it, but I'd like them to. Then I'd like the Saints to be equally desperate and then go get a quarterback at 9. Because that's 2 more premier players that will be available for the Cardinals at 16.
Jackson Dart went 9.
Good
Lord.
Although what you said is true, that I've heard them say that the difference between 8 and 48 is not that different this year.
No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very good but not great players in this draft.
Yeah, Monty Ossenfort also yesterday talked about the challenge of picking at 16 versus higher in the draft like they did last year when they got Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4.
Yeah, it is different. It certainly is different. I think now it's more we sit and wait, and I don't think it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict we try. We'll do a few exercises next week where we try to take a look at what we think is going to happen, but in all reality, there's 32 teams and their boards look 32 different ways. So, Challenges, yeah. I mean, I think, but really it's just staying flexible and being ready to have options for whatever comes our way. And, we'll be ready to do that at 16.
About the idea of 32 different boards, he's exactly right. But my idea, I'm going to say it again.
All right.
I think that the goose that the NFL draft needs to really, really up it in terms of interest is after the draft is over, every team has to release their board. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Not before, but after.
Let me ask you this. Given the fact that the Cardinals do not have a surplus of draft picks this year, there's a lot of people who think maybe Monty Ossenfort trades back to acquire more draft capital, more lottery tickets, if you will.
Doesn't necessarily mean moving away from 16, but maybe later in the draft. Yes.
If Tyreek Hill is available, would you trade a draft pick for him? Would you trade a third-round pick for Tyreek Hill?
Oh.
Isn't that a tough question?
It is. From a football standpoint, absolutely. From an everything else standpoint, absolutely not.
I know. I'm so right there with you. But man, it would you think that would be a perfect fit in this wide receiver room, which again, they're all saying publicly, we're good. We've got enough. Kyler's even said it, and like you said, what else is Kyler going to say? He's not gonna throw shade grenades at his wide receiver room. Hey, give me more help.
Tyreek Hill is 31. I mean, he's sort of at his prime, but it's only going to get. I don't think he's going to get any better.
It's not the age range Monty Ossenfort likes. He likes the 27 to 29 range. But it's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, it's the third-round pick thing. It's not a second. It's not a first. The third. It'd be a good value, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I think the answer to it is probably no, but it's I have seen repeatedly when people do the list of where it makes sense for Tyreek Hill to end up, Arizona's always on that list.
I think the answer is they're not going to do anything at wide receiver.
I think you're right.
Maybe in the middle of the draft, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. What are they waiting for? I mean, the two different waves of free agency has come and gone already.
Maybe they didn't like the free agents.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you think a trade could happen still?
I'm not dismissing the possibility of them drafting a wide receiver in the first round even. Matthew Golden's really good. Teteroa McMillan's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And I was reading this on ESPN. They had kind of a synopsis of every team's draft, what it could look like. And the Cardinals synopsis says this: the Cardinals are a tough team to draft for. They have 22 starters on the roster right now, which is a rarer thing than you'd expect in the league. The only spot that clearly needs improvement is outside corner, where neither Sean Murphy-Bunting nor Starling Thomas, the fifth, were great opposite Max Melton. Even then, corner is really not that concerning. So they're in a situation of, if you are to believe this, and if that is the Cardinals' belief, they're in a perfect situation to draft the best, most impactful
player available.
When you talk about winning a draft, and you said something at the beginning of this conversation, what was it? You said 48 impact players? Is that what you said?
20 to 25, yeah.
Oh, 20 to 25?
Yeah.
Do you view a team winning the draft as getting one of those guys that really pans out, or is it the team that finds the jewels in the third, fourth, and fifth rounds and can get multiple starters?
Wow.
For me, that's what it is.
I think it can be both. I think mostly it's what you're describing. It's the cumulative effect. How many starters did you get? How many rotational players did you get? But then if you're like the Rams and you get a Jarrett Verse, shut up, Jarrett. Then that's also a flex.
But it depends where you are as a franchise. So the last 2 years, the Cardinals needed the draft to rebuild their roster, to give them depth, to give them starters. Now I think they've built up their roster enough that they need an impact player, a star. So I'd rather have the home run hit in the first round than another, 3 solid players in 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. As we get closer to the draft, my desire for the Cardinals somehow, some way to get Tyler Booker grows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wolf Jr. over here.
Yeah, the more I read about him, the more I like him. And the more I watch on him, the more I like him. Coming up next, Matt Ishbia, James Jones, Josh Bartelstein are talking to the media today. Yes, all 3 of them. What does it mean? What do we want to hear them say? We'll tell you next. Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
He's up for a 2-year extension after this season that would tack on 2 more seasons. That would be 5 years of Devin Booker that he'd be under contract for that extreme amount of money. And who knows? They might want to do it. They might want to do it because if the salary cap keeps going up and up, that might be a bargain for a guy like Devin Booker a couple years from now. As crazy as it sounds.
$70 million a year is a bargain.
As crazy as it's made, a bargain might be worth thinking about.
I mean, if he wants to do a 2-year extension and you're going to build around him,
it would show their commitment to him and his commitment to them.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Do not be surprised if you see a Turf Monsters vehicle rolling through your neighborhood. It's because they are everywhere, from Queen Creek to Cave Creek, from Buckeye to Apache Junction, all the way up to Black Canyon City. Turf Monsters has been serving satisfied customers in the greater Phoenix area since 2018. They can do a whole bunch of stuff for you. If you just need traditional landscaping, they can handle that. They're also a leading installer of artificial turf in the valley, which means they can give you that beautiful green, sparkling lawn without the mess, without the seating, without the water bills. If you want a built-in barbecue grill, they can do that. Customized fire pits, they can do that. They're great at state-of-the-art putting greens. If you're a golfer, you should check that out. Turf Monsters also has near 1,000 5-star reviews. Highly recommend if you want to get some work done, if there's a project you've always wanted to do, go check out their website. It gives you a real clear indication as to the character and the craftsmanship of the company. Schedule your free estimate online at turfmonstersaz.com or call them at 623-263-7388 for Turf Monsters.
Homeowners, life can be stressful and so can selling your home, but it doesn't have to be. Carol Royce with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is going to price your home properly and get it in front of thousands of exclusive qualified buyers. That's exactly what Carol did for the Martin family, selling in 11 days for 100% of market value. Call Carol Royce today and ask her about her 100% of market value guarantee, or visit carolhasthebuyers.com. That's carolhasthebuyers.com. Carol and seller must agree on price and possession.
Welcome to Scorpion Speed Dating, where spring flings can turn into full-blown infestations.
Hi, I'm Sheila. I like long walks on ceilings, snuggling up in empty shoes, and stinging people on bathroom floors.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Spring officially kicks off scorpion season. They're out scouting for romance and a midnight snack. But that doesn't mean your home needs to play host. For proven scorpion control, call 602-BLUE-SKY. We'll shut the door on scorpion season. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Hey, Ron Wolfley from my brothers over at DISC, Desert Institute for Spine Care. As a football player that suffered a lot of damage, Dr. Chris at DISC has helped me in the past, and I give them my highest recommendation if you're battling spine or back issues. DISC treats all patients, from the professional athlete and the weekend sports enthusiast to those just trying to get back to their normal life. DISC is the preferred orthopedic spine surgeon for professional sports teams and athletes because of their least invasive procedures and their reputation for results. People from all over the world come to DISC for their treatment. DISC's catchphrase is "enjoy life again" or "get back to living." Wouldn't that be nice? DISC website is www.sciatica.com or call 602-944-2900 to schedule an appointment today. Go to DISC, Desert Institute for Spine Care.
Lab-grown diamonds might be new to retail, but not to Desert Wholesale Diamond. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor of Desert Wholesale Diamond. And even though I'm a fourth-generation natural diamond importer, I was the first to import these gorgeous, eco-friendly, low-carbon footprint, conflict-free, real and genuine diamonds to the West Coast. And unlike everyone who's recently gotten on the lab-grown bandwagon, we work with the largest growers in the world to bring you the best possible diamonds at the lowest possible price. We know what to import and what to reject. And because we're importing direct, working in our low overhead wholesale offices, and making our own rings, bracelets, and earrings in our own facility, we can offer better pricing than anyone. So work with the leader, not the followers, and let us find you the perfect cultivated diamond for less. A lot less.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow Dave on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
Hey, it's Luke. Would we be okay with the Phoenix Suns hiring a first-time head coach? We'll get into that today after the Diamondbacks game. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
Quote, I still believe in our team. I still believe in Coach Budenholzer. I believe in the guys we have. And at the same time, at the end of the season, if we don't get to where we expect to get to, I'll have enough data and evidence that it didn't work or it did work, and then we'll make decisions based on that.
Wow.
End quote. That was Matt Ishbia, March 14th, in an article published by Tim McMahon on ESPN.com. Tim joined us that morning to talk about what he had found out about the Suns. I find it interesting now in hindsight that as recently as March 14th, which was 33 days ago, that Matt Ishbia still had belief in Coach Mike Budenholzer. That might not have been 100% true.
Yeah.
That might have been just for the public.
Yeah, and again, I think that, to me, there's a lot of questions I have about this because we know that if you go back 2 years ago, Frank Vogel, the reports surfaced, I think it was Stephen A. Smith and others talked about a rift between Frank Vogel and Kevin Durant, and the report was that KD had froze him out, hadn't spoke to him, and first it was 2 months, then it was 2 weeks, and then whatever.
They had never actually met.
and yet, so after hearing that, you went to the end of the year press conference, and they still seemed to have support for Frank Vogel, and then after that, he was fired. And it was like, did this all catch you by surprise? And so this year, that's clearly not going to be on the table. I am going to be curious if we hear any more of the anger towards Mike Budenholzer that we read in that press release.
Yeah. Thinking about that, I mean, I think it'll be a theme as opposed to details. I think Matt Ishbia, James Jones, Josh Bartlestein are all too classy to pile on. I think if we hear more in terms of what went wrong and the anger the Suns had with it, I think it's going to be through journalistic efforts as opposed to anything that happens today.
Exposés.
Yes.
Anonymous quotes.
Baxter Holmes, where are you, Bax?
But what are they going to say today? Is
Matt,
it just going to be total generic, like, big picture overview stuff? This was a disappointing season, and we have to get better.
Would you be surprised if Ishbia, like, kind of puts the doubt of James Jones and Bartlestein to bed today and say, these are our guys moving forward?
Someone's going to ask that, right?
I would think so.
I would be surprised if there's something that clear cut. I'm not a newsbreaker, Beck. You know this.
Yeah, maybe they're bringing James Jones and Josh Bartlestein to the press conference for a public tar and feathering.
You know what the answer is?
A flogging.
The Ishbia answer is probably going to be, if they ask him that, he'll probably say, we're still evaluating everything within the organization.
Yeah,
I have to do better as an owner.
I think you're exactly right. And I was just going to say, I'm not a newsbreaker, Bick, but I got a source. I got a source. There is a team that is playing tomorrow night for its playoff lives that one of their top executives flew from San Francisco to Phoenix.
Ooh.
Yesterday. The timing seems very weird.
Ooh. Who is this top executive, Vinny?
Said player also spent a good portion of his career playing for the Detroit Pistons.
Oh.
I don't know if Tayshaun Prince was in town for a quick visit with family or something, but
Tayshaun Prince.
Yes.
I'm just glad I was
Tayshaun Prince, the guy that the Suns could have had in the draft many years ago and took our guy Casey Jacobson instead.
Whatever happened to that Casey Jacobson guy?
A fine commentator.
I'm just glad you said Tayshaun Prince. When you said Pistons and executive,
That's it. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, Isaiah Thomas isn't currently with any team. Okay, that could
it may be nothing, but it might not be nothing.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what would help Matt Ishbia. Come out today and say, listen, I got to make a confession here. I listened to Isaiah Thomas when it came to Bradley Beal. I had no clue. I trusted Zeke.
And we're not talking anymore.
That's what you do. That's what you do. Throw Isaiah Thomas under the bus.
I idolized
Everybody
him.
can relate to that.
I idolized him as a child, and now I'm never speaking to him again.
That's what you do.
That's not going to happen.
Come on, say it's his fault.
They're not going to mention any players by name. I mean, I hope that journalists will ask them about Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and their future, and they're just going to say we're going to evaluate everything because this was a disappointing season and not where we want to be.
I don't really know in terms of what's going to be said, what details are going to be shared. What I want to hear, because I think it's going to be generic in nature, these things usually are. I want to hear a realistic tone. That's what I want to hear. I don't think any Suns fan wants to hear the rah-rah, hey, we're going to get this right, just stick with us.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't stick with them, but there needs to be some hard realizations made and some hard truths shared.
I agree with that. I honestly do agree that this is going to matter perceptually more than anything else. Because I don't think when you hold a press conference, if you're a basketball franchise, if you're any kind of franchise, you either have a specific message you want to get across or you're doing it out of a sense of obligation. Now, in the NBA, as in most leagues, it's become customary to have an end of the year kind of, we're here to answer your questions. If that's all this is, then I think it's going to be light on content, but I hope that the general appearance will be a little more somber.
Yeah.
A little more humble.
I think so. And I don't think they're going to go as far, and there's going to be questions about, the belief in the big three concept. Nobody's going to get thrown under the bus today. But I think an admission of we overestimated what we had in our roster for 2 straight years. I don't think there's any damage in that.
Do you think it's possible that Bartlestein and James Jones stay and they add another person?
It's possible.
Possible.
In fact, if I were a betting man and I'm not, if I were a degenerate like Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy, what do you think?
Let me check the books.
Because you are a betting man and a degenerate. No.
Let me check the books.
I would vote for that. I would vote that James Jones is going to get reassigned to I don't know. You could be team president and just kind of do your James Jones thing. James Jones has been a great ambassador. I mean, he clearly is willing to step up and go into some tough situations.
Absolutely.
And he still has a relationship with some players in the NBA
and he's got a great vibe and he looks fantastic in a suit.
He doesn't wear one very often though. He's a big fan of the black pullover.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. He's a stylish man. I wish I looked as good.
Suits suck. I mean, they look good, but they're a pain, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Coming up next, Sammy's going to he's going to take time out from checking the books to take us through the Rush Hour reboot. The big stories on this Thursday morning next here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
D-backs, Marlins.
Here comes the 0-2. Swung on, little pop-up, shallow left field. This is a tough play, but Gurriel comes charging in. He makes the catch. Ball game over. D-backs take this one 6-2. They take the series, and they go for the sweep in the finale.
D-backs, Marlins, series finale. Coverage begins this morning at 8:30 on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Life Changer Loan, and if you have great credit, if you've got a credit score of 800 or better, congratulations, you should wear that like a badge of honor, and you should not finance your home the same way as somebody with average to poor credit would, and fortunately with Life Changer Loan, you have that option. On the Life Changer Loan, you do your banking inside of your mortgage. Every deposit you make pays off the principal of your home, and as a result, you pay off your home in years, not decades. You'll do it without changing a dime of your spending habits. You'll get 24/7 access to your equity, which instantly gives you great liquidity if you're struggling with college tuition. If you need home improvements, you literally can borrow the money straight from yourself. Lots of great things that go along with the Life Changer Loan, but it is not for everybody. You've got to have that great credit score, the right set of financials. You've got to be responsible with money. But I'll tell you this, if you are a good fit, you are going to love the results. 480-504-0844. Online at lifechangerloan.com.
For a limited time only at Santan Ford. Santan Ford has employee pricing, saving you thousands. You can buy new 2025 Ford Explorers for as low as 2.9% APR, or take up to $8,700 off brand new 2025 Ford Escapes. And Santan Ford has hundreds of Escapes to choose from. Let's recap: employee pricing, financing options that are good for your wallet, and selection galore. It's all going on now. From America for America. See you at Tim Hovick Santan Ford in Gilbert.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
There has never been a better time to join Global Credit Union than right now. Dave Burns here, proud member, and at Global Credit Union, they're all about eliminating fees, no-fee checking and savings accounts, or for accidentally going over your account balance. It's easy to join with 10 branches across the valley, and you can always reach a live person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Explore the benefits of becoming a member at globalcu.org, your world of financial possibilities. Free checking and no monthly maintenance fee. Only apply to core checking accounts. Direct deposit required for early payday. Other fees may apply.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, the owner of Precision Air and Plumbing, Arizona's #1 ranked AC company for over a decade. Manufacturers have raised new AC unit prices by up to 20%. But at Precision, we're selling new AC units at last year's prices and giving you 35% off. You won't get a better deal, so don't wait. If you're in the market for a new AC unit, make the Precision decision today and call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Desert Diamond West Valley brings you the Legends Tribute Series. See an incredible outdoor concert for free every Thursday. This April, see Voyager, Sweet Home Alabama, the Country Artists Tribute, and tribute to Tom Petty and Stevie Nicks, Dragging My Heart. Go online for the full schedule. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino West Valley.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Brandon Fott in the long ball helped the D-backs get a 6-2 win over the Marlins yesterday. Josh Naylor, Pavin Smith, Tim Tawa, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. all homered in the win. And here's manager Torey Lovello on the run the Snakes have been on right now.
We're on a really good spin right now, and the guys are playing hard. We're having a lot of really positive results. We're making fewer and fewer mistakes, which is translating into winning moments, and that's really what we're all about. That's Arizona Diamondback baseball.
And get ready for some breakfast baseball today as the D-backs will look for the series sweep in Miami. First pitch will be at 9:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Trade up, trade down, or stay put. What will the Arizona Cardinals do in the NFL draft in 1 week time? Here is Cardinals general manager Monty Austinfort on what they're thinking.
You know, we're in a good spot. Next week we'll run through a few scenarios and we'll do a few mock draft exercises amongst our staff but we'll be excited. We'll have something fun to talk about with you guys Thursday night.
For all things Cardinals and NFL draft, head to ArizonaSports.com. And Matt Ishbia, James Jones, and Josh Bartelstein will face the media today at 11 o'clock, 3 days after the firing of head coach Mike Budenholzer. This report is brought to you by Waste Connections of Arizona. Spring is in the air, and that means home improvement projects need a roll-off to haul that trash and debris away. WasteConnections.com/Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bentley and Milano Mornings. Rush Hour Reboot. Rush Hour Reboot. Getting you up to speed on everything happening in sports this morning. Brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. For the best sleep ever, get the best mattress ever at Brooklyn Bedding.
Good morning. It is 7:31, and I just got texts from my bookie. I've got some odds on the Phoenix Suns' next head coach, maybe where Kevin Durant might be going, but
what did Three-Finger Tony have to tell you?
Can't believe he used his one phone call to text you.
Yep, my one and only phone call of the day. But we'll get to those in topic 4 of the Rush Hour Reboot. We start with another Diamondbacks win. They won 6-2, beat the Marlins yesterday. They're now 6-1 in their last 7 games, and it seems like they've gotten back to what the identity of this team was supposed to be, and that's quality starting pitching, defending at a high level, and scoring runs in a matter of different ways. And not to mention, Corbin Carroll is establishing himself as an early MVP candidate. Here's Mark DeRosa on the MLB Network talking about Corbin Carroll.
It goes through him in Arizona. I know Ketel Marte and a multitude of other guys, but he's the game changer. And last night was no different. When he's right, the D-backs are a force. And he's kind of that MVP-type talent for them.
So, win whole with Ketel Marte, with this team healthy, is Corbin Carroll still this team's most important player when it comes to having team success?
Going into the season, I would have said no. Corbin Carroll is proving me to think different at this point. We might be seeing a shift, which I think is good because you got 2 studs that are locked in.
Yeah, listen, I think Corbin Carroll is this early MVP form of his. I think it's real. I think it's going to last. I think he's going to make a run at it.
I tend to agree, and that's led the D-backs to an 11-7 start. They're tied for the 4th best record in the MLB. The 3 teams ahead of them are all in the NL West. The Dodgers, Giants, and Padres, and then the Diamondbacks are the 4 best teams in baseball. And I'm sure that when these teams begin to play one another, it'll all play out accordingly like 162 MLB season does.
Yeah, so this Dodgers-Rockies series that's going on right now is the first NL West action against
Very
2
weird.
division teams.
And,
Very weird.
And it is mathematically impossible for all 4 of them to make the playoffs. So is there any worry in how good this division is right now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, listen, I mean, you've got a 15-win team, a 13-win team, a 14-win team, and an 11-win team. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Poor Rockies.
I wasn't banking on the Giants, but they're playing very, very well. So, yeah, it's a concern.
Not only are the Rockies bad, to your point, Sammy, by saying poor Rockies, the one thing that they could hang their hat on in their entire existence was they were going to hit the baseball and score a ton of runs. They're the worst offensive team in baseball right now.
Brutal. But like I said, like Vince said, the Rockies-Dodgers first NL West matchups all season. So we'll play each other. We'll probably beat each other up a little bit, but it'll play out accordingly. And the NFL draft is soon underway, and teams will be on the clock. The Cardinals have the 16th pick, and we talked a little bit about it today, but Monty Austinfort had this to say about their plans.
You know, we're in a good spot. Next week we'll run through a few scenarios and we'll do a few mock draft exercises amongst our staff but we'll be excited. We'll have something fun to talk about with you guys Thursday night.
We'll have something fun to talk about, he says. What would the Cardinals need to do at 16 to, quote, have something fun to talk about?
I think it's going to be fun to talk about regardless because they're going to get a good football player.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, for most fans, it's a flashy skill position player. That's what normally drives happiness or reaction to a draft pick.
Casual fans don't rally around offensive linemen.
No.
You go and you draft, although Tyler Booker might be an exception.
Although I think there would, if he went at 16, I think there'd be some discussion with a negative tone to it. Maybe they took him too high.
Yeah.
I mean, once you're picked, once you're on the field, it doesn't matter.
Especially if there's a scintillating wide receiver available. Other than that, though, I think, you know how this works. There's a reason why they call the NFL draft the biggest non-event in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because Cardinal fans, every NFL city is going to rally around who they select because who you select has been a successful college football player.
Yes.
Right. And I think in his toning and in his verbiage, it sounds like exciting, fun. Maybe he's implying like a wide receiver to your point, and that's something we drafted last year, Marvin Harrison. We were excited all year about him, still are. So maybe a little hint. In our last discussion, we have been talking about the Phoenix Suns brass, talking with the media today at 11, which includes owner Matt Ishbia, GM and president of basketball operations James Jones, and Suns CEO Josh Bartelstein. And we talked about maybe there won't be anything shocking that they say, but what would be shocking to hear at 11 a.m.?
They're selling the team. Everybody's fired.
Yeah, they're selling the team back to Jerry Colangelo, and I'm going to get that statue. No, I don't know. I don't know what could they say that would be shocking.
I don't think we're going to get anything bordering on shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, if they mentioned any players by name and assigned blame or, I
don't even think
gave away what they were doing with those.
I don't even think that will. Why would they do that?
They wouldn't, but that's why it would be shocking.
Well, what if they name their next head coach? And we've got some odds on that.
Okay.
The front runner is Mike Malone at plus 350. Then Taylor Jenkins, Willie Green, Chris Quinn, the Heat assistant coach. And then all the way down to long shots, we have Steve Nash, Sam Cassell, and then the field is plus 900. So the odds tend to lean the more, we talked about it yesterday on who they might hire, an experienced vet. I don't know. Vegas tends to be right more often than not. I hope they're wrong in this instance.
Look, Gambo has already ruled out those first two people in
Jenkins
the odds.
and Malone,
so
yeah.
He has the inside information.
Look, it's not happening. Or did he say, I don't expect it to happen?
But Chris Quinn's an interesting name because coming from Heat culture.
Right.
I was thinking about that, too, last night watching that game. I'm like, Heat culture my butt. They're in the play-in every year. That's what you're putting. That's the feather in your Heat culture cap? Really? Come on.
And to wrap it up with Kevin Durant odds, his next team, the Houston Rockets overwhelming favorites plus 120. And then you have the Warriors and Spurs tied, and then the Timberwolves, Knicks, and Heat. All of those teams mentioned at the trade deadline of teams he would want to go to, but the Rockets overwhelming favorites to be Kevin Durant's next team. Got insight on the books there.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, Shams Charania said the same thing yesterday on NBA Today that the Rockets are a team to look for. One other thing I want to add is, are you done with the reboot?
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to add to the reboot, just came down this morning. Lee Corso retiring from College Game Day.
I just saw that.
He's going to do one more broadcast on August 30th, so he's going to put on one more head.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And I have to say this.
One more gigantic, iconic headgear.
Thank you to Lee Corso and College Game Day. It is a great, great television program for college football fans.
Right.
This is coming at least a decade too late.
That also is an inconvenient truth.
That's just what I was going to say. Like, he's announcing his retirement. Why now, Lee? Why not 10 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, there were times where it was
painful.
It seemed almost cruel.
Yeah.
It did. It felt like they were dragging him out and, like, propping him up, and then, but...
And we do have an update on Mock My World. I'm sorry, since there is no social studies. Vince, your team is 43%.
Really?
Yep.
But it's close.
It's close. Dan Bickley's team 36%. My team 13%. Jarrett's at 7%. Team Murata is passing on Luka, signing Bumgardner, hiring Budenholzer, and trading down and passing on Terrell Suggs. That's a good team.
Biggest mistakes in Arizona sports history.
The Luka stuff still hits hard with people.
Well, and I
the
also
Budenholzer
have
is
the
fresh.
most recent story, too, that everybody's still mad about. So
It's still time to vote. Dan is in striking distance.
I did not expect to be in the running this week.
Very nice.
What a pleasant surprise.
There's a common thread. The first overall pick seems to... The last, I think, 3 drafts, the first overall picks got it done.
Thank you, Sammy. I'll reboot it on this Thursday. Coming up next, another D-backs Wednesday win leads into another Thursday conversation with club president and CEO Derek Hall. That is next here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Who's on top in high school sports in Arizona and who's building up a powerhouse to unseat Arizona's best programs? Kevin McCabe talks with Arizona high school coaches and athletic staff Saturday mornings at 9 on The Kevin McCabe Show, presented by Brooklyn Betting. The Kevin McCabe Show, Saturday morning at 9 on the local sports leader, Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
All right, true fact. Over the past 20 years, the accident attorneys at Sweet James helped enough clients to fill an entire sports arena. Here's another sports analogy that proves why if you're ever injured in an accident, your next phone call should be to Sweet James. So there are over 450 players in the NBA. They all play basketball. They're all good, but very few rise to stardom because very few win at a level that puts them in an elite category, and it is exactly the same thing with personal injury firms in Arizona. A ton of them out there. They all say the the same things. Sweet James, one of the very few firms that are elite in everything they do, especially when it comes to litigating. Their attorneys have extensive trial experience, which is rare in their industry, and it means a lot. It gives them great deals of leverage when dealing with those insurance companies. It's why the insurance companies cannot nickel and dime or play games with Sweet James. It's why they consistently deliver some of the largest settlements in Arizona. And remember, you will pay nothing until they win your case. Call 1-800-9-MILLION. That's 1-800-9-MILLION. Find them online at sweetjames.com.
If you're ready to build your dream home, let the Window Depot help. Our expertise spans more than 20 years helping contractors provide custom windows built to last. Our in-house design team works closely with you and your contractor to create the perfect windows. From design to delivery, your contractor will have exactly what they need when they need it. And with the largest inventory and unbeatable prices, your dream windows are just a step away. Visit us in store to get started or find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot. Best prices, biggest inventory.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in Phoenix. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Mr. Speaker, the President. I have the high privilege and distinct honor to present to you the President.
He's the president and CEO of your Arizona Diamondbacks.
Hail to the chief.
Derek Hall.
The President.
On Now with Bickley and Murata.
Yeah, time for our weekly visit with the president and CEO of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Derek Hall, who joins us on the Arizona Sports Line. Derek, good morning to you.
Good morning, Vince. Hello, Bick. You know, you guys have 45 minutes of show left. That's it. You've been emailing it in all morning. It's obvious. Hey, Bick, welcome back. By the way, you know, people gave you a hard time for going to the practice rounds. Last year we played in Atlanta right before the Masters. So I zipped down from Atlanta to the Masters, and I was there for the practice rounds. It's arguably the best time to be there.
It is the best
Sunday
time, really.
is, but it's unbelievable. It's like fewer people, fewer restrictions. You walk the whole course. You see how steep it is that you don't see on TV.
Yep.
But I thought it was great. It was more relaxed. It was awesome.
Now, Derek, listen, there was method to my madness, Derek. I was informed that is what you do. You go during the practice rounds, and then you get home and watch the rest of the tournament on television.
See, Derek's
that's
throwing
what I
me.
did. It was great.
Derek's throwing me under the bus because last week when you were gone, I made the statement on the air that it really dawned on me what a golf dork you are to go across the country to watch practice.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't say it, though. You just threw yourself under the bus, Benny.
Guilty as charged.
I didn't actually say it.
Look, some of our conversations earlier this year have been, okay, the Diamondbacks are finding ways to win games without playing the sharpest brand of baseball. But it seems like in the last week, Derek, this team has found its footing and its identity. Do you agree?
Oh, definitely agree. Much better. I mean, I can remember you guys, we all talked about it the last couple of weeks, how we're built around starting pitching. And if our starting pitching wasn't going deep in games and wasn't keeping runs off the board, we were in trouble. And we were also making a lot of mistakes defensively. And I think now we're seeing much cleaner baseball and much more of the style that we expected out of our team. But we're pitching great. Our bullpen has been strong all season. I mean, that's not going to continue forever. But knock on wood, it's really been our strength. And our starting pitching is showing again what it should be. And we're hitting the ball at the right time. I mean, making sure that we're coming through with guys in scoring position and just doing enough offensively and without arguably our best offensive player who's still out. I'm very thrilled with where we are, Vince.
And I'm sure you're very thrilled with Corbin Carroll, who is looking like fulfilling every promise he ever had when he came up to the Diamondbacks. And the stories of the work that he put in during the offseason around the holidays, pretty legendary. Give us some insight into how this is all happening for Corbin Carroll.
Well, you just said it, Vic. It's the hard work. I mean, you always hear that from people, especially Torrey, but we all see it. I mean, this kid is in the weight room constantly. He's in the cages constantly. He's the first one to the ballpark, the last one to leave. He works so hard. In the offseason, he didn't miss a day of working out. He's just committed to improving his game and also being a good teammate. But I'll give you an insight on who he is as the person. He came to us during spring training and he said, the team always asks us to go out and sign autographs for all the fans out there during spring training at Salt River Fields. He said, but I feel bad for all the employees. How come they don't get to have autographs? And he said, I would like for every employee to bring something that they want autographed by me. It could be anything, a jersey, a card, a cap. He said, I'm going to sign everything. And he, for about 2 weeks, signed every single item that our front office staff brought for him to sign. That's just who he is as a person. He cares about everyone.
That's really
great.
Cool. Does that apply to the media too?
Yeah, what do you want to sign? Your bare chest, Vinny?
If he keeps hitting like this, maybe, yes.
I think he would sign for you guys too. He's that kind of person.
Derek Hall, our guest here on the Arizona Sports Line. I ran across an article, and you might have seen it as well in The Athletic, where 40 Major League Baseball executives were asked to vote for the top front offices in baseball.
Yep.
When it was all said and done, the Diamondbacks front office finished 8th, got one first-place vote. I think that's low. Can you talk about the job the front office has done collectively in getting ready for this season, Derek?
Yeah, I definitely agree that it's low, and I think what they do, it's recency bias. I think they look at who made the postseason last year. We came up short, obviously, but I think there's so much universal respect for our front office staff. And when you talk about our staff, there's 40, 50 that you can mention, but everybody focuses on Mike Hazen, Amiel Sade, Mike Fitzgerald, rightly so. But those guys are so good. They're such a good team together too, and they have as I said, a ton of respect that they've earned throughout all of baseball. And I was surprised by the 8th. Again, I'm biased. I think that they are as good as any in baseball. Of course, you're always going to give the nod to the Dodgers, and they have a tremendous front office staff, and they do it both ways. They draft really well, they develop well, and the other way is obviously they acquire free agents, as strong as anybody. So they're always going to be near the top of that list. But I'm, right away I looked and said, where are our guys? And I see that they're down the list. There were a couple of MLB personalities yesterday that picked up on that column, and then they did their own. And, I think Dan O'Dowd had Mike Hazen as 3rd. That's more like it in my opinion, but that's okay. I mean, those guys don't care where they're ranked.
Yeah.
They just want to see where our team is ranked. They don't care about the accolades. They just care about the wins.
Well, one of the other developments this season so far, and I don't know if this is a good one, the National League West is a monster of a division.
No kidding.
Yeah. So how are you going to deal with this?
Yeah, Vic, it is. It's tough. And, when you were gone last week, we all talked about it, me and Vinny and Tim. We talked about scoreboard watching. And afterwards, Vince said, I'm not surprised how Derek answered that, but you knew I would, Vince. I mean, I scoreboard watch from game one. I always do. And it's crazy how every night I look and, man, Dodgers won again. Wow, Padres won again. Giants just beat the Phillies again at Philly. They're all playing great, and we knew this was going to be a tough division. I've said I think it's the toughest division in baseball. Some will argue the AL East, NL East, but I think ours is the toughest, and it's going to be a fight. We haven't played each other. That's coming soon. We just had our first interdivision, matchup with the Rockies and Dodgers right now. It's hard to believe. But I think we'll all scratch and claw and hopefully balance it out a little bit. But we just have to take care of our own business. We got to continue to win series. There's only one that we've lost, and I was disappointed in that one on the road at Washington. We've got a tough one coming up after this one in Miami. We're going to Chicago. They're playing really well, but our schedule's been really, really tough. Yet then again, you could say that for the other teams that are playing so well above us because their schedules have been just as tough. It'll all balance out. We all play the same teams, but we got to just keep winning and taking care of our own business.
D-backs going for the sweep today in Miami against the Marlins. Derek Hall, President and CEO of the D-backs, our guest here on the Arizona Sports Line. You mentioned earlier, Derek, the bullpen being one of the strengths, one of the early storylines for this team, and they have been fantastic. And I'm not just talking about the back end. I want to specify two guys that I don't think anybody was counting on to be key cogs in that bullpen. And I'm talking about Jalen Beeks and Shelby Miller, the reincarnated Shelby Miller as a different pitcher than the first time he was in Arizona. Can you just speak to how important they've been to the early season success?
I sure can. I mean, Jalen Beeks has been such a breath of fresh air, and we were watching him all spring because we knew the Astros had a numbers problem, and they were going to have to let someone go. And so, Mike would come to me and say, hey, there's a good chance we could get Jalen Beeks, or, you guys okay if we acquire him? We said, absolutely. And he's come even better than advertised from our guys internally. When it comes to Shelby, he's been lights out. Will that continue all season? No, it doesn't for anybody, but he's certainly showing that he's going to be that effective, I think, throughout the entire season. And he's been that guy. What he shows for overcoming adversity, redefining yourself, he's become one of the better relievers in baseball. I remember a couple years ago when I first saw him back with the Dodgers out of the pen, I thought, wow, that arm is back. That arm is electric. And that's the guy we acquired years ago. I had a really good relationship with Shelby. And, after each start, I would text him at night, encouraging or just acknowledging how well he did. And, hey, that's the guy we know. And, it was so great to see him back. And I can tell you that first day in the clubhouse, he came up and gave me the greatest bear hug. He was just so happy to be there and the smile on his face. And he said it, I'm so glad to be back. And basically you could tell I'm going to do what I was supposed to do the first time. And I when he comes in, you just feel confident. You feel that way with everybody. Like you said, Vince, the back end of the bullpen, I mean, anytime Justin comes in or AJ comes in, you have that confidence, and Thompson, and we're going to have Ginkel back soon, and we've got guys just waiting, and guys like Jameson who are pitching great at AAA, but Shelby has proven himself, and as you said, Beeks is just, I mean, he's been dominant so far. He comes in last night. I know we all wanted that final out for the quality start, but he comes right in. 1, 2, 3, back to the dugout. It was amazing.
All right, any update on Ketel Marte's return and or timeline?
Yeah, I think it's a lot quicker than we all thought. He's doing great. Of course, he's got baseball activities. He's taking ground balls mostly from one position, not moving as much. He's hitting in the cage. He faced live hitting yesterday or 2 days ago. They said he looked great. So he's going to start some light running, and hopefully he's back sooner than later. I know the timeline has been the end of this month or maybe the first couple of days of May, but I don't see, knock on wood, any reason why that wouldn't happen. He's really eager to get back out there, and he would push the timetable if he could. We just want to slow him down to make sure it's not a recurring problem or that we don't worsen it in any way, obviously.
Yep. Derek, always good to talk to you. Thanks for the time, and we will chat again next Thursday.
You got it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your morning off the air.
Yeah, we will, Derek. We will. Derek Hall, President and CEO of the Diamondbacks, our guest every week here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Coming up next, normally I say Bick takes us into the second half of the show, but no, today, Dan Bickley takes us into the home stretch.
Fire!
With the blast. Straight ahead, Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Diamondbacks President and CEO Derek Hall. Your home for everything Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. D-backs decision makers from the team's front office join Wolf and Luke Wednesday mornings at 11:45 for D-backs Front Office Focus. Brought to you by Canvas Annuity. The home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Southwest Gas supports the lifestyle of Arizonans. Hey, it's Vince Marotta, and whether it's cooking a traditional meal, providing hot water for showers and baths, or creating the ambiance for family gatherings, Southwest Gas proudly fuels our homes and communities with a safe and reliable natural gas service. More than 92% of Arizona customers prefer natural gas service in their homes to power appliances, but natural gas is more than an essential ingredient in the home. It drives economic development and growth in the community as well. Southwest Gas Holdings has been recognized on Newsweek's list of the world's most trustworthy companies, ranking in the top 2% among publicly listed companies worldwide. Time has recognized Southwest Gas Holdings as one of America's best mid-sized companies for its commitment to employee satisfaction, revenue growth, and sustainable transparency. Southwest Gas is an energy partner that prioritizes trust, community, reliability, and safety. You can learn more about these recognitions and how Southwest Gas is dedicated to excellence in our community by visiting swgas.com.
At Dignity Health's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute, keeping you moving is a joint effort. With minimally invasive techniques and a personalized treatment plan, our team of highly specialized orthopedic experts can keep you in motion. We care for your knees, hips, and shoulders so you can enjoy what moves you. Don't let joint pain put your life on pause. Keep moving forward and find your path back to what you love. Learn more at dignityhealth.org/azortho. Hello, human kindness.
Need inspiration? Shop Fry's. For mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings. Plus over $600 in digital coupons each week. And up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Fry's, you always get big flavors and big savings. Fry's. Fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
USDA Choice Bone-In Ribeye Roast is on sale for only $5.97 a pound with your digital coupon. Limit 2. Fry's. Fresh for everyone.
Imagine coming home to find a raging house party you didn't throw. Uninvited guests climbing the walls, tearing up the place, and refusing to leave. Sounds like termites.
Yo, best party ever. Pass me a piece of that baseboard.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Once termites show up, they'll keep the party going until you take action. Call 602 Blue Sky today to schedule your free termite inspection. We'll make sure the party's over. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Today at Berg Simpson, we'll get a call from someone who needs our help. We'll learn about their loved one's injuries. We'll listen to their concerns, and we'll promise to fight for them. Then we'll use our resources and experience to deliver the best possible results we can for that client. So today, when that client calls Berg Simpson, we hope they feel they've done the best thing for their family.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 602-777-7000. 602-777-7000. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Life can be stressful, but selling your home doesn't have to be. I'm Carol Rice with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and I make home selling easy by properly pricing your home and getting it in front of thousands of my exclusive qualified buyers. Do what Jackie and Mark did, selling in just 5 days for full market value. Call me, Carol Royce, and ask about my 100% of market value or I'll pay the difference guarantee. Or visit carolhasthebuyers.com.
Carol and seller must agree on price and possession.
2 words we've been waiting for: employee pricing. Yep, employee pricing right now at our Desert Ford dealers. From America, for America. Paul Calvise here. Hey, Ford has been part of our country's story for more than a century. That's why Ford is offering employee pricing. That means we pay what Ford employees pay, and we're talking the full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Take that 2024 Ford F-150. If you're looking for a perfect work truck or a powerful weekend warrior, Ford has a powertrain fit for the job. Besides, Ford is the #1 selling truck brand in Arizona. And right now, get employee pricing plus 5.9% APR financing for 72 months and $3,500 in retail bonus cash on a 2024 Ford F-150 2.7-liter STX. But employee pricing won't last forever. Click Buy Ford Now buynow.com. Based on S&P Global Mobility, retail U.S. new vehicle registrations for the truck vehicle type CYTD October 2024. Terms and conditions may apply. See your local Ford dealer for details.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Cebulka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Brandon Fott in the long ball helped the D-backs get a 6-2 win over the Marlins yesterday. Josh Naylor, Pavin Smith, Tim Tawa, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. all homered in the win. And get ready for some breakfast baseball today as the Snakes will look for the series sweep in Miami. First pitch will be at 9:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Trade up, trade down, or stay put. What will the Arizona Cardinals do in the NFL draft in 1 week time? For everything Cardinals draft related, head to arizonasports.com. And Matt Ishbia, James Jones, and Josh Bartlestein will face the media today at 11 a.m., 3 days after the firing of head coach Mike Budenholzer. This report is brought to you by Waste Connections of Arizona. Spring is in the air, and that means home improvement projects need a roll-off to haul that trash and debris away. WasteConnections.com/Phoenix.
Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
The Big Three will face the music today, and no, I am not talking about Book, KD, and Bradley Beal. This is Matt Ishbia, James Jones, and Josh Bartlestein, the chief architects of the 46-loss debacle, a basketball team that does not seem to have a present or a future. Now, their words will matter. Suns fans do not want to hear any more promises or oversized bravado. This is a front office that turned a title contender, albeit a fringe title contender, into a lottery team without control of its draft picks for the next 7 years. Their credibility has obviously been damaged. Their appearance together is also interesting. If major front office changes are indeed coming, what does that mean for two of the three principals at today's press conference? Does it mean they must face the music before getting fired or reassigned, or are they safe? Because here's another inconvenient truth. Would a promising general manager with real cred or real options want to be part of a rebuild as painful as the one that appears to be on the horizon in Arizona? It's like trying to hire Picasso and supplying him with finger paint. Either way, the future of Suns basketball begins later this morning, for better or worse. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW. Make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, last night, Suns released a press release.
Released a press release? Yes, I did.
Is there any other way they could do it?
No.
9:50 p.m. is where that landed in my inbox.
Yeah, same.
I was long asleep by that point.
So you found out this morning just like I did.
I did, yes. And they will. The big three, as you referenced them. The different big three.
Right.
And this, I mean, with Matt Ishbia involved, the guy who signs the checks, this is actually the big three.
Yeah.
Very curious to hear what the tone is, if there's any specifics gathered. I think you're going to hear a tone of, I think the word unacceptable is going to come up a lot today. It kind of came up in theme in the press release on Monday when Mike Budenholzer was relieved of his duties. The last two lines of that, our fans deserve better. Change is needed. That's about as straightforward as it gets.
I wonder if there's going to be any more detail about the scathing nature of the Mike Budenholzer press release, the statement, the 24-word big chill. I wonder.
Somewhere Fred Khalil's ears just perked up.
Yeah. Hey. I wonder if there's going to be any further discussions of Kevin Durant, which I don't think there will be, or Bradley Beal, which I don't think there will be. But these are all very important things because the hope here, the idea of pivot and reloading, in theory, would mean that this franchise believes they can trade Kevin Durant and somehow refit a better team, a playoff team around Devin Booker. There's a lot of people who have questions about that.
Now,
a lot of people have doubts about that.
Now, knowing that they might not answer anything specifically, if you were attending the press conference We don't even know if they're taking questions. But if they are taking questions,
they'll be taking questions.
What is the one question you would ask?
Why are you hijacking our segment?
I'm not
That's what I
hijacking,
would
I'm
ask.
helping you.
Why did you interrupt me to hijack our segment?
You're lucky I like you so much.
Or else what,
Or
Jared?
else, yeah. Or else.
There's going to be a ton of questions.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of questions.
And look, to Jared's
There's a
point,
lot of good journalists in town.
If they came in and just did a statement and we're not taking questions at this time, oh no. That would be about the worst thing that could happen.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't happen. That would be the worst thing. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Just blame it all on Isaiah Thomas. Everybody can relate to that.
Let me hijack the segment.
All right, go ahead.
With a question for you.
Go ahead.
Should Suns fans be rooting for the Golden State Warriors in the first round of the playoffs?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think the answer to that question is yes.
Because they're playing the Houston Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back a couple of months when we knew the wheels were wobbly, if not all, halfway off at that point, kind of identifying the teams that might be a Kevin Durant away from making a push. And the Rockets were on that list. Here was Shams Charania yesterday on NBA Today on that subject.
You have to give them credit. From the young players that they've drafted, guys like Amin Thompson, most recently, but Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Tari Eason, even guys like Cam Whitmore near the end of their bench that don't really get a chance to play. And then over the last couple of years, bringing in veteran players, whether it's Jeff Green, but even more notably, Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet. And the biggest move of all of that was Ime Udoka and his hiring. He's really the engine of this team, the leader of this team. And this is a Houston team we need to keep an eye on in this playoff run. Because when you think about monitoring who does well early in the playoffs and who might struggle, and there is going to be a level of mutual interest. There has been already with them and Kevin Durant with the Suns. Seeing how they do. Listen, if they win a couple rounds, they might be good where they're at. If you lose early, you don't win or enough to where you want to.
Right.
Could you look at a guy like Kevin Durant once again this offseason? Monitor them.
I know there's some people that wanted to include Oklahoma City in that mix too, and the more I think about it, I think that's an impossibility. I think Oklahoma City is going to be, regardless of what happens, they're not getting bounced early. They're the favorite to go to the final.
Yeah.
And they've already got their big two.
And does Kevin Durant really want to go back to Oklahoma City?
He's not well received when he goes back there.
Not at all.
There was a recent interview he did about not being identified with one particular city in his career, which is interesting for a player of his ilk.
I know.
And when they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams moving forward, they're going to be just fine.
They're just fine. Yeah.
But how much of he's Kevin Durant seeps into that?
Well,
because the Suns
I
were in a similar position. The Suns were young, up and coming. They just came off 64 wins and a finals appearance. It looked like they had their core and their star, and they did it.
Yeah, and once again, I think it's going to depend. If Oklahoma City even is tempted to get involved, it's going to be because of playoff heartbreak. It's going to be because of a bad loss.
But for the patience and responsibility that Sam Presti has shown, does that smack
doesn't make
something
any sense
he would
to me.
do?
No,
I'm not throwing them on the list.
Yeah, I agree with you. All roads point to Houston.
The Thunder could do it because of the amount of picks and future assets they can still have if they trade for Durant.
They wouldn't be completely mortgaging the future like the Suns
because Presti's
did.
done so well.
Oh yeah, they've got a cabinet full. They've got a gaggle of them.
They got to use the picks for something, I guess.
He could make the trade and it could not work, and they could still hit the ground running in 2.5 years.
But again, there's got to be some mutuality to this. Kevin Durant is going to have to want to go to the place that he is eventually traded.
And how about this? How many teams are going to look at this situation in Phoenix and look at the situation in Brooklyn and said, you know what? That number 35 guy is not going to help us.
I'd ask those questions.
If I was,
how would you not?
They lost 46 games with Kevin Durant playing at a high level.
Yeah.
It's not all about stats and production in the NBA to win games. We know this.
Not. No, it's not. Listen, Carmelo Anthony. James
he's going to the Hall of Fame, man.
leave Melo alone, man. No, listen, there's more to it than stats and points and production. You're exactly right about that.
There's chemistry. There's leadership.
Yep.
There's vibe. There's all of it. There's not stats for those things.
No.
Coming up next, we'll get you ready for today's series finale. D-backs in Miami. taking on the Marlins, going for the sweep. D-backs on deck is next here on Bickley and Murata Mornings.
Calais Campbell back on the D-line. Patrick Peterson retiring in Arizona.
That's where my legacy lives, and it was only right for me to come back home and retire a Cardinal and make it official.
Brings back some good Cardinals memories.
This one's all about, fellas. Right here, right now. Let's go make history.
We're looking forward to the NFL Draft next week. We preview the prospects and what Monty needs to complete the roster on the home of the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
Hi, Shane O'Grady here with Life Changer Loan, and we've all heard that time is money. That's why your 30-year mortgage is killing you financially, regardless of the rate you have. On a Life Changer Loan, you're able to do your banking inside your mortgage, so you can pay off in just a few years without changing a dime of spending habit, all while keeping 24/7 access to your equity. Finally, a financial tool for those with great credit. It's not magic. It's just math. So check us out at lifechangerloan.com. That's lifechangerloan.com.
Arizona Mortgage Broker number MB1002031, NMLS number 1863775. Life Changer Loan Corp is an equal housing lender.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
We have big news from Sanderson Ford. Listen to this.
This is David Kimmerly, president of America's most awarded Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford. Ford just announced From America, For America employee pricing. Now you pay what I pay on the full lineup on new Fords with no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense, and no added markups.
Employee pricing levels the playing field for Ford dealers as everyone gets the same set price. However, other dealers will still add addendums and add-ons. Sanderson Ford will not. Choose Sanderson because they have the inventory and a 70-year reputation of treating you right. Ford is undeniably the most America-first automaker in the world. 80% of the vehicles Ford sells are assembled in factories located in America, and they will be less affected by the tariffs. Now is the best time to buy a new Ford with From America, For America employee pricing from Sanderson Ford.
Excludes 2025 Expedition, Super Duty, Raptor, Mustang, and Bronco specialty vehicles.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Sonic Radio. I'm your host, the CIO, and I just found the sound effects machine. Just in time because the new Junior Chicken sandwiches at Sonic are only $1.99 each. It's perfectly seasoned, crispy chicken that comes in original or honey chipotle. No, already did that one. Save that one for later. That's a soft no.
Find Junior Chicken sandwiches on the Sonic Fun 99 menu. Live free, eat Sonic. Tax not included. See menu for details.
This is Greg Hagan. I want to put cash in your pocket. Have you thought about selling your home? Well, Inc. 5000 just named 72 Sold the #1 real estate firm in the state of Arizona. Why? More money for Arizona home sellers. Our competitors must wonder if we have a secret playbook to get more money for you. Turns out we do, but only for you and only at 72sold.com. Get more money for your home at 72sold.com.
Dave Burns here with Liberty GMC General Manager Chris Scott. Chris, Phoenix spring means warm weather and big savings. So what does Liberty GMC have on special this month?
What's up, Dave? It's a perfect season to get into a new ride. Right now, with only $3,300 down, you can lease a 2025 GMC Train for only $389 a month for 36 months. Whether you're hitting the road or cruising the city, the Train is built for it.
Spring into savings at Liberty GMC or shop and buy online all the time at libertygmcaz.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found in G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, well, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just a bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco or your local Bashes.
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. We're checking in on the Diamondbacks as they warm up for the game's first pitch. D-Backs on Deck, brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. And by 72 Sold. 72 Sold. Get a higher price for your home.
It's a beautiful morning for baseball as the Diamondbacks look to sweep the Miami Marlins. Our first D-Backs on Deck show of the year, morning baseball from South Florida. The Diamondbacks are looking for their second straight and third sweep in the last 4 years in their trips to Miami.
Wow.
They kind of run that place.
Yeah, they own that place. Are they going to be on the Wikipedia page, Vinny?
There hasn't even been any rain delays, which used to be the worst when they played at the old stadium.
Yeah. The old stadium. And they've actually played, the roof was open last night too, right? It was 78 degrees in Miami the last 2 nights.
How about it?
Talk about fortuitous weather. Can they finish it off? The D-Backs are looking for their 5th straight win overall as well. Let's jump right into the D-Backs on Deck and take a look at today's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by the Window Depot. More than a window store, visit one of their 4 Valley locations where you can find everything you need for your home remodel. For the Marlins, they're going with Edward Cabrera, 27-year-old right-hander from the Dominican Republic. He's making just his 2nd start of the season. His first start, he went 5 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 5, but the Fish lost to the Nationals 7-4 back on April 11th. It's his 3rd career start against the Diamondbacks. He went 6 innings in a 3-1 loss to Arizona in Miami last August as part of that sweep. In 2023, he pitched at Chase Field against the D-Backs and was chased after 3 1/3 innings, but Miami rallied for a 5-4 win. He throws 5 pitches with regularity and reaches 96-98 on his sinker and 4-seamer, which are the least used pitches in his repertoire. D-Backs going with Eduardo Rodriguez, the lefty, getting his 4th start of the year today. Last Friday, Rodriguez went 6 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs against Milwaukee, 0 support. They lost to the Brewers 7-0. Last game they lost, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
The start before that in Washington on April 5th, Rodriguez struck out 12 Nationals in only 5 innings, but the D-Backs lost that game 4-3. 3rd career start at Lone Depot Park. He was great last season. He went 5 1/3 innings, allowing just 1 run on 6 hits and a 3-1 win against the Marlins there last August.
Yeah, so it's time for the Diamondbacks to do their starter a solid, right? Because Erod's been sort of rounding into the guy that we were hoping for last couple of starts. You talk about that big strikeout game. That was one of them. Give him some help.
Yeah, it seems almost cosmetic because he has pitched pretty well. Get him a win.
Yeah.
Let him go 5. Give him a big cushion. Let him get the confidence of having a W next to his name in the box score. Time for today's injury report, brought to you by Barrow Neurological Institute. Learn more at barrowneuro.org. For the D-Backs, all-star second baseman Ketel Marte remains on the injured list. Suffered a hamstring strain April 4th in Washington. But he did play in a rehab game on Tuesday at Salt River Fields. Marte got at least 4 at-bats, and according to Torey Lovello, said he felt good afterwards. Pretty promising report from Derek Hall when we talked to Derek earlier this morning. Right-handed reliever Kevin Ginkel also threw 21 pitches in a live setting, and the post-session reports were good there. Kendall Graveman still on the IL. He should throw a live session in the next couple of days. And Blaze Alexander, who suffered a strained oblique in spring training, is playing at AAA Reno. Jordan Montgomery, Blake Walston are out for the year. For Miami, they've got 4 players on either the 10-day or 15-day injured list. And raise your hand if you've heard of these guys. Infielder Connor Norby, catcher Nick Fortes, starting pitcher Ryan Weathers, and reliever Declan Cronin, all on the injured list.
Yeah. Household names. They're not household names even in their own households, Vinny.
Hey-o.
Declan Norby? Or what was that?
Connor Norby.
Yeah.
Declan Cronin. He might be the only Declan ever in the major leagues. I can't think of
another.
It's a good Irish name, right?
Declan Otani.
Definitely. Declan
Otani. Keys to the game. Let's hit some keys to the game today for the D-Backs.
Listen, man, I need you to be the key master.
I am the key master.
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. D-backs keys to the game. Brought to you by G2G Protein Bars. G2G Protein Bars. Complete grab-and-go goodness. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco or Bash's'.
I'm nitpicking when I give my key to the game.
All right.
Here. Torey Lovello talked about it yesterday, but in the first two games of this series, Bick, the Diamondbacks have relied on the long ball.
First of all, Naylor pounded that pitch. You know, it's a long way to hit a home run there, and he got us started, and it was a great moment for us to play downhill baseball. And then Pavin had the real big one. Timmy clearly, got the dugout really energized. It was a really good swing and a good moment for a first-year player to get the first one out of the way. And then Gurry had a great at-bat. He just kept hanging in there and hit that big two-run home run that really broke the game open.
All right, so my nitpick is I'd like to see the Diamondbacks score multiple runs without the home run. We've talked about it during D-backs Daily during the course of the season. Without the home run, there's been a lot of sac flies. There's been a lot of small ball being played and RBI groundouts and things of that nature. I want to see more run-scoring hits that aren't round trippers.
Okay.
Is that nitpicky?
Maybe. But it's okay.
But
It's your key to the game.
You're playing the Marlins, so do what you want.
Well, yeah.
You own that place, as we already established.
Right. My key to the game is going to be grab a surfboard and ride the wave. Keep bashing. One of the really great developments, many people thought there'd be a little regression in the slug of the 2025 Diamondbacks, particularly after last year losing Christian Walker, losing Jock Peterson, who was fantastic. But so far, so good. What'd you say, Jarrett? 6th in the Major League Baseball in home runs?
5th, wasn't it?
5th in home runs,
Okay.
4th in runs scored.
Right.
And that's with teams that have played more games than them, like the Dodgers and Yankees and stuff.
Yeah, to your point, Bick, I'm not going to be upset if they hit 4 more home runs today.
Right. You just want to see...
I just want to see them do it a different way.
Okay.
So those are the keys to the game. Time now to take a look at the Major League Baseball standings, brought to you by Liberty GMC. Nowhere can you buy a GMC for less. And we'll focus on the National League West standings, which are something to behold, because the Arizona Diamondbacks at 11-7, a win percentage of .611, tied with the Texas Rangers, New York Yankees, New York Mets in that category, but they're in 4th place. All of those teams are in 1st place in their respective divisions. The Padres are off to a blistering start, 15-4. They've given up only 51 runs in their 19 games. San Francisco in 2nd place in a tie with the Dodgers. The Giants are 13-5. Dodgers are 14-6, both a game and a half behind the Padres, and the D-backs sitting 3.5 behind the Padres right now at 11-7. And Rockies, here's your consolation prize. Thanks for showing up at 3-15.
They are going to be in for a historic loss kind of year.
Yeah.
Based on the company they're keeping in the division. I think Bob Nightingale tweeted out that the 4th place team in the National League West, which would be the Diamondbacks, would be leading every other division in baseball.
Yeah, that is true. But here's something to note going into today's game. In all of Major League Baseball, the Diamondbacks are currently riding the longest winning streak. 4 straight. Looking to make it 5 today.
Yeah. And to think they were 3 outs away from suffering back-to-back shutouts to the Brewers when this whole thing happened.
The Vinny tweet of death.
Yeah, it was. That's what it was.
Since I hit send, the Diamondbacks are undefeated.
They owe you a Corbin Carroll autograph.
That is going to do it for D-backs on deck, and it's going to do it for today's show. Thanks to Derek Hall for joining us. We are back tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6. Enjoy D-backs baseball here on Arizona Sports.
You've been listening to D-backs on Deck, brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. And by 72 Sold. 72 Sold. Get a higher price for your home.
Here are the top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com, brought to you by Why Refi. I'm Tyler Drake. Dan Bickley writes, Suns need Devin Booker to return next year on a mission after down season. Flexibility critical for Arizona Cardinals this NFL draft. And Brandon Pfaadt continues strong pitching, and Diamondbacks club 4 home runs and win over the Marlins. Those are your top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com, brought to you by Why Refi.
Dan Bickley here for Sonic, where you will get more than a great experience and a great menu. You'll also find great value.